Go ahead.
All right. Welcome back to Diced Coffee, where a group of nerds gather on the internet. Hopefully, we don't give you more unsolicited life advice. And we're back with our level 20 campaign, Dragonsgrave. So last week, the Giliaths have met up with the Guildmaster for the Guild of War. After an interesting conversation, you've also discovered a little more about some mysterious golden sphere of an artifact that was discovered outside of the kingdom. You've also found out some interesting facts about your father's scepter slash sword that he's had with him for a while. And you have contacted a druid that's been living in Frostgarden, the one and only village within the barony of Dragonsgrave, as well as made contact and agreed to house three elven sorceresses who seem to be running away from some form of night hag up north, further north in the kingdom of Hazion. In exchange, these sorceresses have given you an ample amount of gold, both in gold pieces and in precious gems, as well as about 20 winter boars, a mix of male and female for you to start breeding and creating some form of livestock in your otherwise barren kingdom or barony. You pick up the morning after the arrival of these elven sorceresses. As the morning comes to all of you, you awaken. Mage, you had a plan to ride forward to Frostgarden before the sun even rises. Who is coming with you?
King Trist, that would attract so much attention with it. Tristan stays. Garrus, just the keep. Care of that. Mage needs Eri to
Ida.
talk with, I'm so sorry. Mage needs Ida to talk with the three wizards. Find a way how to figure out how we're going to make the most out of their magical abilities. We need food. We need to be able to sustain the barony with food. And then Tanya, my favorite bastard sibling, comes with me.
Alright. Does Tanya have to go as herself?
Goes hidden, she rides ahead. I'm only taking 4 knights with me. Marcus Bane comes with me.
Very well. Vayne has awakened. Tanya, that means you awaken even earlier than everyone else.
Mhm.
So, you ride forth towards Frostgarden, long before
Can I
everyone
take-
else wakes up.
Can I take Lucas with me?
Mage, can she take
Yeah.
Lucas with her?
You absolutely may.
Lucas can
Mage
stay.
is all for little boys.
Oh,
Going on YouTube.
don't make it weird.
Okay, so Tanya, you bring Lucas with you. Are you riding in horses? Carriage? How are you transporting yourselves to Frostgarden?
I'd say horseless. The two of us can go together. I'm gonna have him dress as someone inconspicuous, and I'm gonna look like someone inconspicuous as well.
Okay.
Make sure no one recognizes us.
Lucas, while not a changeling, could pass for one, given how well he puts on his makeup and disguises. Something he's been accustomed to since he was a child. Are you riding on a single horse?
We're splitting.
Alright. So you ride off into the night. You have a passive perception of 29, because fuck rogues. There are no people watching you as you make your 2-hour journey to Frostgarden. It is frigid, it is cold, especially right now about 3 a.m. in the morning. Everything is dark and frozen and cold. Your only light source being what exactly?
Do I get my when I asked for it, the night vision goggles?
Goggles of night? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
So-
do we have the sending stone, like the one for the 4 of us?
Just a pair. to share for everyone. You have the one.
Okay.
You have traveled forward. Lucas, although not exactly accustomed, doesn't exactly have dark vision, seems to be handling himself well without it. The darkness doesn't seem to be new to him. You kind of keep moving forward until you reach the warmly lit windows, or the windows are closed, but you can see this sort of slit of orange light coming from each of the windows, the warmth and the firewood that people have placed in their homes to keep warm at night to go to sleep by. And you have reached Frost Garden. What are you gonna do here?
I'm just gonna make a quick run through, make sure that everything is clear, no one is watching, and that no spies are planted in.
Okay.
Ghost is basically checking if the ghost is safe.
Make an investigation check.
Alright. Oof. Investigation. That's a 19.
19. You go around. Physically speaking, nothing's been trapped, nothing's been moved, nothing's been altered or changed. Everything is as it should be. You still find the druid kind of lying there in his dome. But other than that, nothing seems to be out of place from your last visit or from how you've always known this place. Lucas has taken the initiative of kind of going around the border and checking the surrounding forests to see if anything's there. Comes back to you, says, "Nothing there, ma'am."
Alright. I'm gonna take my stone and say, "Coast is clear, you're free to come."
Yeah. Mage, upon your awakening and preparations for the day, the sending stone that you have that connects you with whoever of your siblings decides to leave, it starts to light up, and you, grabbing onto the stone, receive the message from Tanya.
I can talk back, right?
Yep.
Clear the area, gather heads of every household. I never got to ask about Frost Garden. Is there a well?
There is.
Like a central well or a central plaza?
There's a central plaza where there's sort of a... It would be a fountain, except it's normally frozen, and then there's a well for people to gather fresh water from.
Not the plaza that attracts too much attention. By the well.
I'm gonna gather them there.
Remember, it's still 3 a.m.
And
And
only the heads. So, should not know who you are.
alright, I'm just gonna say that I'm your messenger then.
It'll work, yeah. And I'm taking Lord Bane and 4 knights with me.
Okay.
Can I forge a note that has Mage's handwriting saying that it's an official request from the Baroness?
You have proficiency in this, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Dexterity. Plus your proficiency.
Oof. Okay. Proficiency is
6.
12, yeah. Plus 17.
17. Yeah, you make a fairly official note. Probably not going to fool any courtesans or courtiers, but for a bunch of people in a small village, absolutely. Lucas is just going to look at you. I'll go around, make sure nothing's out of place. Steps a few steps back in the darkness and just disappears. You're gonna go town to town, door to door, presenting a note, hoping that people come out of their homes in the middle of 3 a.m.
I thought it's just the heads.
Yeah, you still have to knock on everyone's doors.
I'm gonna check on Mage and say, do you want me to gather them at 3 a.m. or...
Wait, how long of a ride is it from Dragonfell to...
Sorry. That's my bad. Tanya left at 3 a.m. It should be 5 a.m. now. 2 hours. 2-hour course.
It's 2 hours. So gather them at 7.
Yep.
Alright.
So
Right.
for the meantime, Tanya, you stay around there, watching over the place. Mage, you awaken next, gathering 4 strong, loyal knights and Marcus Bane with you. Is
Right.
Baroness? Shall we be going?
For Dane, yes. And as much as possible, one knows about this.
Of
No
course.
one.
No one of import. Of course.
None of import, yes.
He just opens the carriage for you. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as you're concerned, or as far as any of your assistants are concerned, I am still fast asleep.
Of course. Opens the door for you. You can see the carriage is now a nondescript one. Logos and things have been kind of taken off. The knights also wear their armor but doesn't carry the banner.
That'll work. All right.
You press on forward in 2 hours. Do you have anything to talk about with Bane, or do we go straight to you arriving at the town?
We'll talk to Bane. Yes.
Okay.
Do you know of the? Ask. Suppose I can. Yeah. What do you know about Castle Windwake and Castle Blackwind?
Strange questions. Castle Windwake, I believe, is under the barony of Drogas. Old man. Hard-headed, as most would put him. Strong-willed person. Rules a tight ship as far as I know. Follow his laws and you are treated well, but you are also equally treated poorly should you refuse. However, most of the people under him seem to be rather happy with the laws. He does not put out unjust laws or taxations, does not abuse his power, merely enforces it with an iron fist. Children, Giliaths being the oldest, is the most like him. Just call it a copy. Exactly like him, aspires to be like his father. An excellent warrior, has not quite grasped politics as of yet. The younger daughter, Leah, she is less of a fighter, and she's what you would call optimistic. She has ideals that no one really agrees with in their family. However, it seems she's savvy enough with politics to understand that you should not be voicing opinions that are unpopular until you can make them popular. Shows a strong adaptation to the political climates of Windwake.
Sound woman.
Yes. Castle Nightwind, on the other hand, far east, coastal castle. The region has 5 villages surrounding it. It is said to be haunted. Screams or moans and anguishes of the dead haunt the castle grounds and walls at night. The people around the castle have gotten used to it. There's only Baron Kiara and her brother Kryn who will stay there. Not much is known about. Yes, the parents had fallen an ill fate, similar. However, Castle Nightwind is known for two things. One is the hauntings, and 2 is the Baroness herself. Baroness Kiara is powerful. An arcane prodigy, if you will. What goes on behind the walls, I doubt even the shades would know. Her secrecy is impressive, to say the least. Any particular reason you ask, Baroness?
I was particularly interested in, to be perfectly honest then, first wanted to ask about Castle Windwig because correct me if I'm wrong, Lord Bane. Castle Windwig is not that far from Lands, just a little further into the kingdom. Hyrule.
Yes, you merely have to. I believe it'll take at least a week's worth of journey if you're planning on taking full supplies. But in a week, you should be able to get within Castle Windwake, or at least the Windwake region, and in a further 3 days, and you'll be within the castle. The alternative, of course, is their teleportation circle, should the Baron be kind enough to lend you his sigil. As you know, all of the baronies keep their teleportation circle sigils private, apart from us.
You know that old man Drogus doesn't do politics that much, but how open do you think you would be to? Suppose the question I want to ask first, Lord Bane, is: would you know of Castle Windwig positions towards Dragonsgrave in my family?
I've heard stories here and there. Politics, rumors. Baron Drogus cares not for either side of the argument. Neutral at best. He enforces the law of his land. Your parents not commit any actions that were against the laws of Azram. However, neither have the guilds, technically speaking. And that is enough for Baron Drogus to remain neutral in the issue. He does not.
Fair enough.
He does not care for allegations or rumors. He cares for hard facts that can be proven. And as of the moment, no one can necessarily prove that anything foul had befallen anyone.
What about the Baroness of Nightwind?
That I wish I could answer you, Baroness, but Baroness Kiara is an enigma. No one knows what's going on in her head. In fact, as far as I remember, no one has seen her outside of Nightwind for years. She sends representatives or portal mirrors when she needs it to communicate, but rarely leaves the castle herself.
And so we have the stubborn old man and the mysterious Lord Bane. We should start with the one closer to home.
Baron Drogus.
Suppose you could do something about that first.
Of course.
Would you say that he and I both have common cause with regards to the bandits along the high road? It is a long way.
Absolutely. Baron Drogus, if there's one thing you can count on him, is an army of bandits' heads along in pikes. The law is the law to him. There is no middle ground.
I suppose that's the starting point. So, you know anything about the activities of the outlying bandits and bands of outlaws around Windwake?
There are very few people who are still willing to do so, as far as I remember, and it could be partly due to the amount of pikes lined up along the road with bandit heads on them. There are stories of Baron Drogus. One of them, more infamously, this is before your time, Baroness. As a young ruler of, as a young ruler of the castle, he infamously put the head of a bandit right about 100 or so feet away from the castle doors. Just a single bandit's head. Wrapped around it was a bag of 1,000 gold pieces and a note, or rather a wooden plank put on there with a note on it. This bag contains 1,000 gold. For any bandit foolish enough to try and take it, your fate will be much worse. And atop the pike was a flayed man's head, with his own manhood inside his mouth. There were, of course, bandits foolish enough to take the gold, and he made well on his promise. Soon enough, the roads were filled with crucifixions and beheadings, even once replacing the head with a chicken head, just to make a point. Ever since then, most of the pikes outside carry a few gold pieces within the bags, taunting any bandit who wishes to try.
How is Castle Windwake economically?
Castle Windwake and the lands surrounding it are most known for their mercenary work, soldiers, warriors. Secondarily is their wine. Very well, not exactly wine like you have. Their wine is more for the common folk. So cheaper, but a broader market.
We'll have to deal with that later.
The winery, of course, does not belong to the Baron. Simply that the family who owns the winery is within the barony's territory, and therefore pays his taxes appropriately. But given how widespread the winery is, the taxes are significant.
Right. We'll have to deal with that later then.
Of course.
Okay. Lord Bane. That'll be all for now.
Of course. On the way to Frost Garden, as you have this discussion, you eventually arrive towards the end where Tanya has successfully gathered with a letter, not that you know, but a well-forged letter. Several of the town elders, they don't really have a mayor, they don't elect it that way, just a few elders of the town who are kind of, who know about how to survive in this area, plus Alden the druid. So you have Alden and about 6 elders of the town gathered around the well. Tanya, what do you look like at the moment?
Something not that different from I am. Blonde hair, dirty blonde hair. Almost the same kind of physique. Just, basically someone that can pass as makeup, altered face because of makeup. Not entirely different.
Yeah.
But still inconspicuous.
Okay. So, Mage, as you arrive with your knights and Lord Bane, who just walks beside you, the druid comes forward and says, Baroness, you requested to gather us here?
Morning, Sir Alden.
Morning.
I know it's only been a night, but confidence, although I'm not sure I can say more at the moment, you must understand. The winter wars and the necessary supplies and funding will be on way to you here for sundown.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did request that all of the elders meet us by the well specifically, not by the plaza. You understand that sort of thing. You don't want to attract too much attention.
Of course, I was just kind of alluding to why we were gathered.
Ah, so you know it's a barren wasteland. I'm sure. How long did you say you've been here? Oh, anyway, it's a barren wasteland. I'm sure. Sure you know we don't get happy news around here.
I have
Come to bring
noticed.
come to bring some. And do I recognize Tanya?
You would recognize one of her many forms.
Okay, so
You would recognize my bow.
fair enough. I see that my little sister has also mastered the art of poor hygiene to disguise herself among the common folk. The dirty blonde hair, but
I-
by the judge, she gets the job done.
Okay. So what can I do for you? What can we do for you, Baroness?
I need to ask, does everyone recognize me already at this point?
The elders do, yes. They all do.
The elders and
Well, the townsfolk aren't here, but you would understand that the townsfolk would know who
Okay.
you are.
I'm just going to make this very quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make this very quick. I don't want to spend too much time here. I know that life out here is harsh, and that good news is a luxury. However, I would just like to first of all send my regards to loyal serfs of Frost Garden, and that your taxes for the next how many months was it, Lord Bane? 3, 6?
3 months if we're using the amounts to build a boar farm. So 3 months.
Have two bits of news. Loyal serfs of Frost Garden of Realm of Dragonsgrave. The first is that your taxes for the next 3 months will be waived.
They all just start kind of whispering to each other with smiles on their face. You can't make out the whispers, but they're all smiling, just kind of. That is wonderful news. It is. The kind of oldest guy goes, "It is, Baroness, thank you. But if I may speak freely.
May?
Although taxes are rather difficult to pay given the circumstances, we are also understanding of why they are collected. We are just concerned of what is to become of land if you are not collecting.
Need not worry about that.
Very
I
well.
do hold your concern in very high regard. And actually, since you're concerned about the land, that brings us to my second happy bit of news. I have spoken here with the wonderful Sir Alden, and Frost Garden will be getting a very new business venture if the kind the town are interested. We shall be sending you 20 winter boars and enough provisions to the pen started. Is that what it's called? Good Lord Bane.
I believe some of the younger folks call it kickstarting.
Starting, yes. To kickstart pen.
We're just talking to Baroness, this is most gracious. We will not let you down. As it happens
Pressure?
that most of us elders are actually farmers by trade, and we are no strangers to boars. We have heard winter boars are much larger, but we can adapt.
Enough. And thank you for stepping up to the challenge. Don't worry about it.
Of course.
I suppose the only remaining thing will be how to given that the taxes are going to be waived for the next 3 months, and as for the boars themselves, I do not intend to tax them until you've been able to breed them properly. Bane, will you write this down?
He's right. He's
Simply.
been writing the entire time.
For For every 5 winter boars that this town breeds, we will only tax 1. Free people of Frost Garden are free to do what they wish with the rest.
As Bane kind of writes down, the elders just kind of look at each other. They just kind of the oldest one again, the one who's been talking, just kind of bows. Your graciousness, Baroness, is much appreciated. We will ensure that we are able to take care of them and produce them, and perhaps finally have some proper food for everyone in this land.
Please do. Thank you. There's one more thing.
Yes.
How many able-bodied men do you have? Men and women do you have in this town?
Able-bodied men and women. He just calls to one of the. He's still old, but he looks like the youngest of the 6. Moves forward. Do you know how many? Yes, of course. 32 able-bodied men, women, and children of age who are able to make from the menial tasks to difficult ones.
Then, in 4 nights, I would like you to take half of those 32 fine men and women of Frost Garden, and sent before House Giliath at our great hall. See what we can do. I'm sure you understand, old man. Life is not very kind out here, but I can't have my serfs starving.
And of course, he just looks at the other one and says, "We have the horses." Yes, we have the horses. Yes, we shall send them in 4 nights, as you have requested.
Of course, I would also request, I'm sure you understand, that you maintain this of utmost secrecy.
Of course, no one will know.
Nights then.
If, under the guise of secrecy, then would it be possible for them to leave a little earlier? The night monsters and creatures that roam the area are not friendly to villagers.
It's fair. You may ride at sunrise and set.
We are willing to wait.
Meet.
You're willing to wait till the evening?
I do not particularly care for which 16 of the 32 you pick, but I would prefer they be the ones that can keep a secret.
Of course. They just start writing notes down as you talk.
Suppose that'll be all for now, and long live the people of Frost Garden.
Thank you, Vanis. I shall inform the people. And Wander, let's get to work on making a pen for these spores. They just start scattering around.
Very well then, Tanya, Lord Bane. I think now we have to head back. We have a lot of work to do. Okay. Shower being first on the list. Come on, Lord Bane.
Yes, of course. Kind of moves. You mentioned Tanya. He just looks around, doesn't know who you're talking to, but just keeps moving forward. So you make your way back with Tanya and Lucas kind of moving from the sides.
Just lagging behind. Making sure the coast is clear.
For the most part, the travel is uninteresting. Tristan is keeping watch over the soldiers, the men, and the area. Bandits are not in great supply around your area anymore. Ida, you were instructed by Mage to talk to the 3 elven sorceresses. So, Tanya has given you which room they were put in. Do you need to do anything before you go to them?
I'm going to cast a spell on myself before talking to the 3 sorceress.
Which one?
Says, oh, yeah. The second, I'm going to check my spell list. I'm going to cast Mind Blank at myself.
Mind blank. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Then you talk to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Immune to psychic damage and any effect that would sense emotions or read thoughts. Got it. So, you go to speak with the sorceresses. They are in their room as you knock and say, "A moment." The youngest one opens the door. Says, yes. Did you need something?
Oh, I'm here to talk about something. Come in.
And of course. He just opens the door. You can see Brizane and Kaivara kind of putting up runes and basically glyphs around the room. And you recognize these glyphs to be things like non-detection, just ways to keep them from being seen. Various elven runes designed to keep them from being noticed. You come in, but you're the youngest one, just kind of, what did you want to talk about? Sisters? They stop midway, just kind of. Brizane, the eldest one, presents herself to you. Yes, madam, did you need something of us?
Oh, I'm just here to check in. Are you guys comfortable with your room?
Yes, yes, of course.
Is there
No
anything
complaints.
You need
No,
soft pillows.
no.
Okay.
We have no complaints with what we've been given. The protection is more than enough. Thank you. Can we be of assistance in any way?
So is it okay if I ask something? I needed help, please.
Help?
See,
Yes, of course.
I want this safe and sound from all of the enemies around this. And can you teach me some of your tricks how to at least get this place safe? I mean, pretty please.
We are happy to ward your castle if that is what you ask. Very simple. We'll need about 3 days, given the size of the place. Actually, given the size of, we'll need about a week, given the size of the place. We're happy to do it. If you wish to ward the castle, come. These are elven wards. They are more commonly used by elves, elven magic. They're a little hard to teach. Might take a while. We're willing to, but it will take a while. In the meantime, we are happy to ward the rest of the castle from prying eyes, if that is what you wish.
Is there any component that you have to use when it comes to creating ward? And how much would it cost?
They just kind of look at each other, and there's a sort of look on their face like they did not think about that when they offered. And they just look and say, yes, good point. Well, each of the wards around the room here require about 50 gold pieces worth of gem dust. That is what the wards are made of, and any precious stone. Towards the entire castle. I don't think that through. It will cost quite a lot. Somewhere in the vicinity of 15 to 20,000. Unfortunately, we have given you all of our gems. All we have here, the dust that we were meant to protect the room with. But I'm sorry. I don't know how else to help. This is the cost of the magic. We can't really change that. We've given you everything we have, so we don't necessarily have a source for the gem dust anymore.
But how about rooms per room? Was thinking that uh it would be helpful if one of our bedrooms would have rooms on it, so no one
Uh,
would, because
and,
any room.
and the amount of runes that we put in will be about here, as you can see, and she just points to you about 4 runes. So each of them do a different thing. Preventing for divinations, preventing from illusions to enter the room, just in case someone pretends to be one of you and we accidentally say something that we shouldn't be saying. One here prevents how do I say this? This third one prevents a sort of lying. It's not complete yet. I'm in the process of completing it, but it's sort of, upon entering the room, prevents those who enter from lying, or might prevent them from lying. And this one on the roof is a ward, again also incomplete, is a ward against aggression. It prevents forms of physical aggression from occurring. So if you only want one or all 4, then we will require the gem dust for all 4. If you can provide, we are happy to do this to any room that you wish, or as many as you want. It depends on what you want, or which one you want, to be honest.
Oh, ah, that sounds lovely. I would rather choose all of them in one room. I should tell Mage about this. This would be helpful with our. Thank you for
Eh,
all the information
No,
you
of course. Thank you for.
gave me.
Of course. Thank you for letting us stay here and giving us a place to stay safe. If you need anything else, we're just here. We have no intentions of leaving the room that you have given us. We don't plan on wandering, so we're just here.
Thanks again, and I'm going out of.
Kind of close the door.
Ooh, I'm going.
Um,
And I'm going to cast Sending on Mage.
Hey, Mage, on your way back to the kingdom, you receive what message?
I found something that could help us. They know some words. Non-detection, non-aggression, anti-divinity, and I forgot the other one.
No lying.
Non-lying words. Be safe. Buy some gems. Lol.
No more. The message ends at
Yeah.
buy some gems. You are allowed to reply once.
Okay.
With 25 words.
Does his sister think she is that I went shopping to Frost Garden?
You have 25 words.
Buy gems, the audacity of this wizard. 25 words.
Your move.
We'll discuss when I get back. Don't forget, I need farmland. May use the dungeon. You have 3 days. Magic and secrecy, please.
25 words exactly. For the record, they don't have to be 25 words. That's just your upper limit. But anyway.
Okay. Saying I make that work. I was gonna put XOXO.
Gossip Girl. Okay, mate. Ida, you receive that reply. What was that? Sorry, I didn't catch it. If they
Do
need
we have gems?
farmlands, you use the dungeons. You do have gems. You have 27,000 gold pieces worth of gems from these sorceresses that mage has not allocated yet.
Yeah. I can like tell her that we can put wards on dungeon. Well, on her personal dungeon, that is.
Can?
Why are you
Depends.
making me sound kinky? Queen personal dungeon. The family dungeon. Hey, don't single out older sister like that. Come
Somehow that sounds a little bit worse. The family dungeon.
on.
Okay. Tristan is set on guard, passive orders. But Tristan, is there anything you need to do while you're on watch? You're muted, I think.
Maybe I'll just talk quickly to Jonas.
Jonas stands there on his post. A few guards come by him, mostly the ones on patrol, kind of hunting for the winter wolves. This hunt, you would be aware of it, was kind of sent out to get some more coats for people, to make for warmer coats. So they just come by, ushers them through, stands there on his post.
Can I ask Jonas? Can you give me
Manda.
some report?
On?
Can you give me some report about if there's some discontent within the ranks? I mean, what are their grievances?
Uh,
at the moment?
You'll have to define discontent, sir. If you're talking about loyalty, there is no one that is disloyal. In terms of discontent, it is less about the Baroness or your family and more about the situation that they've been placed in. However, as you know, your father has carried most of these men, if not all, were part of your father's group. He has done an excellent job of explaining to them his vision of what he wanted Azram to be, and a lot of the men believe in it. I would say maybe 10 or 15 men follow out of loyalty, as the rest are believers in the cause. But all of them are loyal. The discontent is just both with the situation and their inability to provide any form of solution to the Baroness.
Okay. Oh, I understood. How about something to do with the cold? Is there something that's bothering them about this cold that we have here?
Lord Bane was kind enough to allow us to make a run and hunt for dire wolves to create some coats. The cold... It's a lot colder than it is in the capital, but it is not something that the soldiers are not used to. So, no complaints, at least none vocally voiced. Some are cold, but the Rosanna and Celestine are more than gracious enough to provide some form of warmth and fire for the off-duty soldiers.
Okay, I understand. Just tell me if there's something that comes up in this type of matters.
In those type of matters, none, Commander. One of the guards reported he wasn't sure, didn't want it to go up, so I would prefer not to tell you his name, but one of the soldiers reported sightings around that cavern entrance about, you know, the one about west of Dragonsgrave, maybe 10-minute walks from Northern Gate. On one of their daily hunts, they had reported some form of movement within the cave. Of course, it was dark, barely any light, and the soldier believes that he was just seeing things, but his passive order was to report anything he finds. I found it. This was not but 3 hours ago.
Okay.
That's all to report on that. Otherwise, their hunts and daily gathering of supplies has been normal. Norman, one of the rising soldiers of the ranks, has found a ample supply of what seemed to be good berries. Um, it's entire bush, about 15 minutes away from the northern gate. He had brought back some to be tested and to be checked by Celestine for any poisons, but if it pans out, we can at least gather good berries for the people. I'm not sure if you're aware, sir, but good berries are these sort of magical fruits that are able to fill in the calorie requirements for people within a day. So one of those can feed a soldier for an entire day. Very useful, but currently being tested by Celestine if it is containing any poisons or affected by the northern cold in any way. Hoping it pans out, at least we can feed the soldiers not deliciously, but it will feed them and they would be content.
That's all, Janice. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Sure.
Answer. Okay, so Mage, you arrive back at Dragonsgrave. Slowly following you behind, Tanya and Lucas unseen, going through their usual entrances, not necessarily the south gate. As you enter, what do you do? Mage? Hold on, I can't hear you. Mage?
Oh.
There you are.
Right. Okay. First thing I need to do is talk to my sister.
All right. You'll find Ida among the arcane library.
Mage!
Oh, I have questions.
I already talked to the three sorceresses, and they are pretty useful. I mean, they could teach us how to make glyphs.
Or
For at least for those people who are trying to scry us. Well, it would be expensive if we put glyphs all around our castle, but if we can like put it in one room or 4 rooms, I guess we can at least spend less money on it.
how much would it cost to glyph the whole castle?
25,000.
Between 15 to 20,000.
Then how much do we have?
We currently hold. Well, the gold has been distributed among soldiers, given to the people, but we currently hold there's 27,000 gold pieces of gems that were provided.
Start with the 4 rooms first. I like your idea first. It may be more efficient, more cost efficient. Maybe we can. You're right. Maybe we can look into the castle when we have more money. All right, girl.
I mean,
What happened?
those are like elven glyphs. If someone sees those glyphs, we would get in trouble. So it's better if we put it in our rooms or in a dungeon, I suppose.
Needs to be one. You do have a good point. It needs to be a room that we would specifically use just to discuss secret. You're right. We can't glyph the whole castle. You're absolutely right.
If I may, Baroness, from what I know, from my limited knowledge of the arcane, disguising a rune does not necessarily remove its effectivity. If we are to spend just a little bit more upon glyphing the castle, we could dismantle a part of the bricks that make up the walls, put the glyph inside, and then reposition the bricks back in.
Dismantle part of the bricks, you say?
As long as the medium that covers the glyphs are not made of lead, I believe, and the magic shall work as if it was out in the open. It will cost a little more, and we will require the services for carpenters, but it can be done.
I wonder how much that would cost in total. You know what, Lord Bane? I've had a fantastic idea. Why don't we try it on one room first? Wizard's room. Sister's room.
I shall consult with the carpenters. What was it you said the cost was for each glyph, Madam Ida?
50 per glyph. 50 um, gold worth of gems per glyph. That's what I heard about the from those researchers.
50 gems per glyph. Very well. I shall consult with the carpenters and have a report by the end of the day.
Bane, one last thing.
Of course.
If you uncover any interesting secrets while going through the bricks and walls of my dear sister's room, it would be a shame if it somehow reached the desk of my bedroom.
Hey, wait a second. Where would I sleep in now?
Yes,
Don't
it would
sleep
be a
there.
shame.
Don't sleep there.
It would be a
That's
shame.
exactly.
Yes, it would be a shame. I'm not the young man I used to be, but I shall try. You'll have to forgive me if I make
Be careful,
certain
Lord
mistakes.
Bane. It would be a shame if any embarrassing childhood pictures, showed up on my bedroom desk.
Of course, Varnis. However, you must understand I am an aging man.
I understand, Lord Bane, you're an aging man, and winters are cold.
Of course. Kind of moves forward. Heads over to the carpentry.
Where would I sleep in now?
We sleep in my room first. Now, while we're working on your room, don't you have a farm in the dungeon to prepare for?
He is now a farmer.
Arcane agriculture. Arcane agriculture.
Arcane agriculture. Right. Okay.
I love you too. Get to work. I need to talk to brother.
Okay.
I'm going to the dungeon.
Alright. This is, I believe, in relation to what Alden has mentioned about putting a daylight spell into an object, correct? This is something that you and Rosanna, your second command mage, can work on. Make me an Arcana check with advantage because Rosanna is helping.
Talking to me, or are you talking to Ada?
Ida, for the daylight spell.
$24.
24. Between you and Rosanna kind of practicing, creating, this will cost you about 700 gold pieces total with all the materials you require to practice and redo and practice and redo. This is heavy research work. But your estimate with Rosanna is maybe by the end of the week you can have a working daylight spell enough to light up about a 30 square meter room that you can kind of place a farm in, a sort of pseudo farm. So probably by the end of the week with repeated research, you and Rosanna can come up with this. While you're handling that, Mage, you head over to Tristan. Is that right? Okay.
Sir, Lord Commander, hello. Report, please.
Okay. Oh. The troops just finished hunting for the jackets, the clothes that will be used. Another one is there is someone saw something in the cave 3 hours ago moving. They don't know what it is. They don't have any orders to check it out. Maybe something that we can look for. Loyalty check, everyone's still loyal. Some are frustrated that they cannot help you with whatever cause our parents are. What our parents are fighting for before. And they are still loyal to that cause, and they're just frustrated that they cannot help you with it. Another one, there's some good berries 15 minutes away from the northern gates.
Good berries.
Yeah, currently Celestine is testing it out. If it's still good when it's in snow. Aside from that, I think that's all.
Oh, we'll tackle the good berries first. If you do run into Celestine again, tell her to give the good berries to Ada.
Okay.
She can just tell Ada that Age sent them. She knows what that means. Make it work.
I thought Ada was going to test for poison by eating it.
It isn't on her period, so I'm in a good mood. Trying to feed people here. You can tell the Knights Lord Commander that they're real darlings untouched. Although I do have an assignment for you. I'm not sure if everyone's going to agree, but it's going to beat standing around the barracks all day.
Oh. Okay. Humor me, my dear sister.
Sorry, can't hear you, man. Mage? Mage, we can't hear you.
Oh, yes.
There you are.
Tell me why I would be standing in the barracks all day.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there.
Okay, there you go. It's funny that you mentioned that the men are getting frustrated. Real darlings, all of them are. I understand being a 20-something dumb brute of a male thing to do all day. Must be tough. Do you remember that orb we found a few days ago?
Yes.
Remember how it led to a portal in the old Changeling Kingdom?
Oh, yes.
What would you say if your dearest sister asked you to maybe go through that portal and see if you can find anything useful? I'm sure it's something that a few adolescent knights would enjoy, a bit of change of scenery.
As you command, Baroness.
I never commanded it. As far as I'm concerned, no one commanded it. You can just say that the orb fell somewhere, the portal opened.
Semantics.
Commanded no.
My dear sister.
I commanded no such thing, dear brother. In fact, I'm not even here. I am looking for.
We didn't have this discussion.
Did not have this discussion, yes.
Oh, okay.
Anything that we can mine or bring back or harvest or gather or collect.
Speaking of harvest, my dear sister. When I was young, I was studying how to do brewery, ale, something that is missing in this place. When you think of something, no, it's more ale, beer.
Beer.
Than wine. Would you think it's something that we can do here with the berries that we get, that we use for wine?
You talk to Ada for that. See if she can make it work. I guess. I mean, she's already putting up a farm in the dungeon, so a few more berries wouldn't be that hard.
Yes, it's something that.
Tell her I love her too.
What? Okay, I'm not gonna ask what Ada's doing, but maybe I'm gonna go and maybe I'll trip on a portal going somewhere because I'm bored.
Yes. It would be a real shame if you accidentally brought back something valuable you could end up harvesting.
Yes, I will. Don't worry.
Damn shame. You take care of yourself.
As you discuss.
Okay.
What's Tanya been doing since getting back?
I would just give myself something warm to drink, and then I'm stalking mage inside on top of the ceiling.
Yeah, you're just kind of creeping on the ceiling there.
Just while drinking my coffee, like just chilling there.
Drinking while... Right? They're
You
all...
know she's there the whole time.
No, you don't.
I know.
Not with that kind of passive stealth roll, no.
No.
It's like the cat in the ceiling meme.
Yeah.
There's just someone staring, looming down at the kingdom.
Getting warm on the ceiling because I'm still chill. Really cold.
Ida has kind of gone around to tell the farm hands that gather some soil by the end of the week so that you can start preparing the process. Tristan, you can, if you're looking for the orb, you're going to Rosanna, to her kind of arcane chambers. As you arrive there, to Rosanna, you find this blind mage is still, she's a blind kind of wizard, just kind of manipulating the ball, and then you can see her very curious. The bird on her shoulder turns around at you and says, the bird is looking at you, she's looking at the orb that's kind of floating in front of her. Hello, Lord Commander. Is there anything I can help you with?
I'm actually curious how the orb works. Can you show me?
Of course. So what we've been able to decipher is that there are 20 possible combinations. The sphere acts like a puzzle. Every combination reveals a sort of rune that can either produce something from wherever it goes to or opens a portal to where it goes to. The portal, from what I can tell, seems to be one way. You cannot bring the object with you, so someone who opens it for you here must open it again for you upon your return. We have only found the one combination so far, the one that leads to the kingdom, or to the ruins of the Changeling Kingdom. That's about most of what we have here. On the other hand, we have discovered a little bit of history. The ruins of the Changeling Kingdom lie on the opposite side of the Iceshard Mountains, right in the very corner of the mountains and the kingdom of Hazion.
Oh, history check, is this something that I know?
No, this is something she's telling you.
I mean the kingdom of Hazion, is it a
The
common
kingdom,
knowledge?
what you know about the kingdom of Hazion is it was made by slave wood elves who ran and broke themselves free from the high elves. They found the nearest land that was uninhabited. So one might guess that that land that is uninhabited used to be the Changeling Kingdom, but now the Hazion has taken over. The only remnant of the Changeling Kingdom that is left is that one castle that Rosanna is pointing to. That's common knowledge.
Okay. This is not within our continent, right?
It is. Hazion is
Okay.
north. Hazion is the border that Dragonsgrave stays on.
Okay.
They're on the other side of the mountains that you are in between.
Okay. Rosanna, I have something to ask you.
Of course.
Can you show me the portal, and if I accidentally trip through the portal, can you open it in around 4 hours after?
He's doing semantics with Rosanna.
I see. Well, the orb. Perhaps it's better if I show you.
Okay.
She hands it to you. If you just move this piece here, she's telling you where to move as you kind of, and this piece here, and that piece there, this rune will light up. And unfortunately, if you accidentally press that rune, a portal will appear beneath your feet, dragging you into the kingdom.
Okay.
Dragging
How
you
do
and
I go back?
presumably anyone with you. To go back, the portal can be reopened from here in a more safe fashion, and you will have to go through, well, essentially the same place where the portal led you in the first place.
Oh, okay. So yeah, maybe if I try to press it again in 4 hours.
No, the orb doesn't go with you. She
Yeah,
has
yeah.
to
That's
open
why
it.
I'm asking. Yeah,
Yes,
Rosanna, to do it again around 4 hours,
if
maybe.
you press it and bring about anyone unfortunate enough to go with you, I suppose it might take me possibly 4 hours to
Figure out how to
recall
do the
how
puzzle again.
to do the puzzle once more. I am blind, so it's a bit of a challenge.
I know. One moment. I'm just gonna go out. Maybe ask Jonas to give me at least 2 people
Okay.
to go with me.
2
And
nights and Tanya.
yeah, two nights. No, not Tanya.
I thought Tanya was also a part of this, but alright.
I mean, would Tanya want?
Tanya, you
No,
want
I
to go
was
exploring?
waiting.
You
I
are a
was
changeling.
actually like,
Yeah.
I was
I mean, you
peeking on the ceiling, and I'm just looking at Mage and say, "So where do you want me to go?"
Out of nowhere, Tanya just talks to you,
Mhm.
Mage.
Just looking down at her from the ceiling while holding my mug.
Mage?
You told me if you were there all the way up. Oh,
Yeah,
can
go.
you guys hear me?
Go.
Could have told me if you were up there the whole time that my bra was weird position because it's itching me. Anyway,
The moment you find out that I'm stalking you, that means I'm a failure of assassin. Don't you think?
I suppose that's true. Now,
You can still fix your bra if you want.
at the moment, the state of my bra is more important than your success as an assassin. But we'll discuss that later.
sleight
So,
of hand. Sleight of hand.
So, if you want to go places, dearest sister, I have 2 options for you.
Yeah.
I will be playing politics. There's learning gardening. Your brother's about to jump through a portal, accidentally. Not that I had anything to do with it. Although I might be telling him how to incentivize the knights if you ever do run into him. Please tell him to see me again before he accidentally trips into an alternate dimension or somewhere else in Spyre. For you, I have 2 options. You may accompany your dearest brother, or he did give me reports that some of the men have been seeing strange things by the caverns near the castle. Maybe you'd like to do a little sneaking and find out what that's all about. Don't fight.
Mage, you know me so well.
You know, fun. Play house. Oh, I'll let you pick whichever one you want to do. My only real condition is you bring back something interesting the family can use.
I'm just going to put my mug down and I'm gonna do like a vertical flip and land in front of her and say, "As much as I want to go to the Changeling Kingdom, I'm actually worried that
Hold
the
on.
spies are keeping an eye on me."
I need an acrobatics roll for that.
Come on, give me this! I don't want to roll in that one! Oh, shit. Wait.
Otherwise, she falls flat on her face. She falls flat on her face and takes 5 bitch damage.
Joke's on you, I got it. 29.
5 bitch damage!
29. You
Yeah.
don't even let go of the mug. You flip forward with the mug kind of twisting in your hand such that it doesn't spill a drink. And then the drink follows.
I'll do like a bastardly curtsy in front of her after that display.
Roll my eyes.
The thing is, as much as I want to go to the Changeling Kingdom, I already caught someone's eye. They might be scrying on me as we speak.
We're going to the caves then. Let me know how that goes. Try not to die. There are only 4 of us left.
I'll take Lucas with me. We can survive together.
There you go, yes. And remember, in case you're all away, stowed away with Lucas, neither of you are legal age yet. Try not to do anything that would disgrace the family name. You are a bastard, but still my sister. So
Not interested in those kinds of things, Mage. You're the only one who's hoping to look for someone. And then grumble while walking away.
same thing. Oh my God, these kids.
Alright.
Suppose when
It's
she
time
grows
for
in the
you
right
to find
places,
someone who
you'll
will keep you at home. You should really find someone who would look at me. And then just grumbling while walking away in the room.
So,
I'll find someone who knows what he wants and has a sizable estate, and with dreams and aspirations that are practical, also romantic.
Yeah.
Wait, after that, I'm gonna sneak behind her. I'm gonna fix her bra. Well, as soon as she sees me leave, I'm gonna sneak behind and fix her bra.
sleight of hand.
You have to roll.
Thank you.
Stealth.
Right.
Okay.
Sleight of hand. Yeah, stealth roll if you don't want to be noticed.
Yeah, don't bother. That's 17 plus 17.
Ghost.
54.
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand is 21.
Yep. Mage, as you kind of leave and go to your room or go to where you're gonna go next, you were about to fix your bra and realize it's already been fixed.
Must be one of those magic Neverwinter bras. Like,
So interesting scenario. We're doing
I love it.
the opposite of the cardinal rule.
I need to talk to.
Never split the group.
I also instructed to Tanya.
I think Tanya, you're supposed to talk. You were instructed to talk to Tristan,
Yeah.
but again, interesting scenario. We're doing We're going against the cardinal rule of D&D, which is never split the party.
Yeah.
So let's start first with Tanya running into Tristan as he has been provided two loyal knights.
Okay.
Tristan!
Yeah, where are you going, sister?
Nowhere important. Mage wants to see you.
Oh, we have already talked about me tripping somewhere else. You know, being
I think
clumsy
she
with
wants to
my
see you.
armor.
I mean, you are very slow for your age. Like, you would expect to be... Yeah, you're very slow. But that's not what I'm trying to talk. Mage said she wants to
Okay.
see you before you go.
Oh, she is? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go. I mean,
Yep.
be careful, I suppose.
Not that far of a
I'll
walk.
escort you. I'll escort him on the way.
Not that any of you know this, but Lucas is just kind of looming. Lucas is just kind of looming on the shadows, following. So
I'm gonna go to the caverns. I'm gonna say that while no one's around me, other than Lucas, of course.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Mage? Well, Baroness, what do you need?
As Baroness, I have a question of policy. As Baroness, do I also get to take some incentives for your knights before you guys go off gallivanting?
yes,
Right. Me, Lord Bane, I have laws to enact.
Bane immediately comes forward, as efficient as he is, with a scroll and a quill. Baroness.
Bane, please write this down. Pertinent to all knights of House Giliath and all other knights that I charge. All of them, of course, reporting to my brother, the Lord Commander. Every time they accidentally, that's that last bit. Every time any of the knights accidentally fall through any of the portals on that orb, apart from requiring to bring things back, they are allowed to keep one trinket of their choice to incentivize them. So suppose that will foster some some friendly competition among the knights of the house. Something to motivate the Lord Commander's men.
Okay.
This is, of course, unofficial. After all, who accidentally falls into a portal?
It's one of those obscure legal loopholes, Lord Bane. You understand? Like one of those things that will never get called into practice. Never. Falls into portals by accident.
And the policy lost to mountains of paperwork that I must handle. I certainly hope no one decides to try and look through the archives to find this one lore, as I might lose it elsewhere. Of course, it shall be made known.
Okay.
Of course, Lord Bane, you are very old, so I do understand if it does get lost somewhere.
Thank you for your forgiveness, Baroness. Takes it and leaves.
By the way, can one of the knights be Norman, the one who found the good
Yeah,
berry? Then
sure.
I'll introduce him, Baroness. But this is the knight that found the good berries from the northern gates. His name is Sir Norman.
Norman raves, and
Norman
he just
raves.
kind of stands up. Norman raves, Baroness. Takes off his helmet, and he can't possibly be older than his mid-20s. But he does have battle scars all over his face. Is an honor.
Good to meet you, Sir Norman. Sir Norman Race.
Raves, yes.
Raves. What's the story of that scar?
This one. I believe I was but 19 under your father's command. We had set out, usual, clearing bandits, going on jobs. I was young and naive. One of the bandits attempted to attack your father from behind. I intervened, but I had lost my footing and found the end of his blade. Although I am still proud to report, parts of him that he would have preferred not to lose found the end of mine. I shall call it that.
I understand, Sir Norman. I trust that my brother, then the Lord Commander, will be briefing you on the particularities of your mission.
Yes, I have been told, and it would be most unfortunate to have to be jettisoned into a foreign land I know nothing about, and of course, as a knight of the house and a man in a foreign land, curiosity takes the best of you, as you might collect a few things.
Most unfortunate, but these are strange times. One can happen upon portals these days. It's not unheard of.
Of course. Portals.
And this discussion with the Baroness never happened. I'm just gonna look at the two knights.
I was not aware the Baroness was here. I was merely practicing a speech for her. Baroness, when did you arrive?
I just came from the kitchen. I just made myself some lunch. I'll be seeing you boys later. Try not to get into too much trouble.
We are young. Baroness, you'll have to forgive us if we discover something. Puts his helmet back on.
By the way, before we go, are you just gonna call my squire, James?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Can you go to Celestine and just tell her that the good berries that she is investigating is something... I mean, can she talk to Ada about it?
Of course, sir. I'll go right away.
Okay, I'll be gone for a while. Okay.
Yes, sir. Leaves.
Before Tristan goes out of the castle, Ada's going to find him first.
Why? Okay.
He's along the halls, so...
Yeah, I'm just there.
Tristan! You
Hey,
forgot
sister.
something!
What?
I'm going to hand him Father's sword.
Okay.
You need it more than I do.
What does it do?
This is an ornamental sword of his cane, inside his cane.
Okay.
It is capable, for some reason, of opening a portal to the astral plane.
Huh. Okay. Thank you very much, sister. I hope I don't have to use it, by the way. It's gonna shit it.
Right.
Gonna bow. I have to go on my way.
Good luck! And
So-
keep safe.
Kristen leaves. Tanya has left.
And we're
Ida.
doing one of the sinister no-nos in D&D. Yay!
Actually, before I leave,
Ida is farming.
I'm going to go back to Mage and say, Mage, do you know that thing that Ada does? The one that prevents people from scrying on them?
Warding, from my understanding, yes. What about?
I was wondering if I'm gonna go to the Changing Kingdom, I can just have her bloop, cast it on me.
I thought you're going to the cavern.
Yeah, I think you're going to a
I mean,
cavern.
I meant like if I'm gonna go to the Changing
Okay.
Kingdom instead, because the only reason why I'm not going there is because they might be watching what I do at the moment.
How much would that
So-
cost?
I don't know,
200,
not a spellcaster.
Either, do you have non-detection?
Yes, I have.
What is there a cost to the spell?
250,
Wait
I
lang,
think.
I have to check it first.
No, 25. I have that.
25
amount.
gold. Measly amount.
Either way, I'm good with either we're going with anywhere, but Changing Kingdom is an option if she casts that on me.
That's going to be the case. Changeling Kingdom it is then. By the way, DM, would I know it's only 25 gold?
You don't have the spell, and being a warlock means that you're not versed in magic, but make an Arcana roll. You can make an Arcana roll. For Tanya,
15.
yeah, you would understand that the cost is pretty minimal. Not exactly, but minimal.
I suppose it shouldn't be too. I suppose it shouldn't be too expensive. I mean, it's so cheap. You could probably find a bandit and mug him, cover the cost. So, right then, I suppose it's Changing Kingdom for you. And if that's going to be the case, you can tell your dearest brother as well that when you get back, you're off to the caverns.
Sounds
Enjoy.
fun. Bye.
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
So, splitting the
I'm
party
just
in
gonna
half.
run towards Tristan and wait. I'm coming with you. Just give me a minute. Then I'm gonna run towards Ada.
The knights just look at you, Tristan, just shrug and waiting for a command.
No, let's just wait for her.
Understood. Tanya, you run into Ada, who just comes out of her room as you slam into her.
Hi.
I was wearing a sun hat, ready to farm.
And the hat just kind of flies off as you. This sort of large, wide-brimmed straw hat.
Ours.
Can I try to catch it?
You're pretty dexterous enough. Just
Hey, I'm gonna put it on her.
Ah, thank you.
Remember? Remember that thing that you used to do to me whenever I sneak around and you're afraid that someone might be looking at me?
Okay, wait a second, and then I'm going to check in my room some diamond dust worth 25 gold.
easy enough.
And then I'm going to immediately sprinkle it on her face. Cast
Oh.
non-detection.
As Edith takes a handful of diamond dust and just kind of mutters her arcane spells, looks at you, and it's and the dust just kind of floats around your
warn
head
me.
and then sinks into your skin.
Done!
Is it okay now? Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
By the way,
I'll be back. I'm just gonna run.
No one's going to invite Edith to this?
No, she's
She's
gardening.
farming.
Harvest Moon.
I said the end of the week is when they can complete the item, but yeah, that's fine. You can talk with Rosanna.
Okay.
So
Meta
gonna put her
meta
hat on
question.
yes.
I'm not sure if this had been discussed. How does my army see Tanya? Is she a weakling or is she a good
Given that your family,
fighter?
other than the mother, given that your family has never treated her poorly, they don't treat her poorly. However, Tanya has given the air of non-capability.
Yeah, that's why.
She has presented herself as someone who cannot fight. So to them, in terms of how they treat her, as
How
a
they see
number
her,
of
how
you,
they see her.
how they
how
see her is defenseless as she presents herself.
Okay. I'm just gonna say to my two knights, don't worry, I'll take care of her while we're there. She'll be
Your two
close with
knights with you are Norman and Zenri.
yeah.
Zenri
Zen.
being about late 20s. Both of them are the fastest rising knights in your household.
Okay. So I'm
Yes.
just gonna tell. Tanya will be going with me. I'll take care of her. Don't worry about it. Go on with your scavenging once we're there.
Understood, sir. So, we have Mage with Nation States, Ida playing Farmville, Tristan and Tanya playing actual D&D. This should be fun. Let's start with Mage. Mage, what do you need to
Nation
do?
states.
Mage is playing Nation States, so Mage, what do you need to do?
Hello, Max Berry. Oh, queen bitch of the household. I think I need to do politics now. So I need to do issues.
Okay.
Need to talk to.
Bane.
What was I doing? Bane. Thank you. Yes, I need to talk to Bane.
He walks in about 5 minutes after a squire calls for him. Baroness, do you require something? Baroness? Sorry, can't hear you.
Hear me?
There you go.
Oh.
Yep.
Hey there. I will be needing. I'll be needing 2 ravens for this. It's a 2-raven job.
Of course.
First raven, we are going to have a message sent to. I'm just gonna look at my notes. We are gonna have a message sent to
Rogus?
Baron Vandrel. Mandrogus.
Baron Vandrel, yes. The message shall contain personally written, or shall I have one written?
You may have it written. I would just like to It's a good pretense, Lord Bane, for talking Baron Drogus.
Perhaps a... Hold on. Well, it is not exactly uncommon news that the Garthis winery, Garthis, that would be the winery that is making the cheap wine. It is not uncommon news that the Garthis winery is having difficulties as of late with their vineyards. The winter grows ever colder. They're starting to have difficulties maintaining their vineyards. This would, of course, give Baron Vandrel difficulties with maintaining a significant source of income. Perhaps an acquisition or merger, or some form of aid in terms of the wine business would be a pretense to speak with the good Baron.
It's common knowledge, though, right? That
It
his
is
vine of grapes do encounter some difficulty in the winter.
It is. Oh, sorry, you're asking me as a DM. The common knowledge that you have is that some of the Griffiths wineries are closing down. Because, well, the reason for that is not common, that wineries having problems. However, the suggestion is that given the pretense that you also own a vineyard, you would understand, or you would have some guess as to why they're closing down.
Right. Lord Bane, how much gold does our own vineyard make us?
Before all the expenses, after the expenses of the vineyard, but before what we deduct to maintain the household, given a take about between 6,000 to 7,000 gold pieces a month.
A month. Well, Androgus would be more. I say, perhaps his family in charge of his vineyard would be interested in maybe doing a little business that the Baron would be able to tax as well. What do you think, Lord Bane?
Yes, but we could frame it in such a way that we would like to his permission as Baron to discuss with the families regarding business with him overseeing, given he is the Baron. That can be arranged.
What happened, Lord Bane?
Of course. The second Raven, Baroness?
Second Raven, so that one goes to Castle Vandrel, Lord Bane. I'll just need to check my note.
Castle
That
Windwake
will go
belongs to the Vandrel, the second Raven.
to Windwake. And we're sending the second one to Castle Nightwind.
Vane just
Baroness
gives you a
Kiara
curious
sounds
look.
like an interesting.
Yeah, that she is. What shall be contained in the letter, Baroness?
You know the Baroness Kiara to be an comical woman?
I
What?
would
You say?
know Baroness Kiara to be an interesting woman. She does not shun communication, though she rarely appears personally for them, but her communication can be described as cryptic, to say the least.
Second Raven to Castle Windrake. Tea. I would like to invite the Baroness over for tea.
Raven to Castle Nightwind to invite Baroness Kiara Olsworth for tea. I must say that is never been done before, so she might find this interesting. Bold move. I shall have it done within the hour.
Thank you, Lord Bane.
Will that be all, Baroness?
I suppose that's it. I haven't really commanded anyone else, have I? Thank you, Lord Bane, that's it.
Very well. He immediately kind of calls for some squires, and they just lead him to the Master of the Ravens. So, with your we'll see what happens there.
Nation States.
With your nation states done, we go over to Farmville. Ida, some of the farmhands come to you with your sun hat in the place where the sun never shines. Moving forward, just for the record, you guys, if this is the world, you guys are up north. The tilt is like this. So the sun over here never shines light on your area of the world. But you know, get a sun hat. It's fashionable. There are some farmhands that approach. He said, Master Ida, we've managed to gather the soil, and good soil. We can lay it down on the ground for you. Just opens up one of the dungeon rooms. You find that they're already kind of plowing the soil in, prepping it, and they have. Oh, sorry, no. You find that they've destroyed the ground of the dungeon. They have destroyed the cells to get that dirt exposed. So they've kind of mined it. They're putting the soil. It smells horrible here because of the manure, but you know, fertilizers. He said, "I apologize for the smell. I apologize for the smell, Master Ida. We had to fertilize the soil, but we should have this done within the next 2 days. I'm ready for whatever plantations you have in order." Can't hear you, Ida. Ida? There you are.
There you go.
Hey, I'm here. Do I have to wet the soil though?
We can handle that, Master Ida. We can handle the.
Right now.
If you would like to.
I'm going to do it instead, and I'm going to cast Watery Spear.
Mutter these arcane words, and you summon up a ball of water.
Spear.
That acts like a sphere of. It acts like a sphere of water that spins around and acts like a sprinkler.
Oh
Farmhands just kind of look and say, It certainly saves us a bit of work. Thank you, Master Ida.
You're
As you-
welcome.
As you talk, Rosanna comes to you. Just kind of, Ida, Master, I will
Yes?
require your assistance.
What kind of assistance?
Your assistance in the arcane?
Oh, okay. Literally forgot. Sorry. You guys do your thing with the farming. I'm going into do some arcane stuff. Goodbye for now.
Thank you,
I'm going to
Master
toss
Ida.
my sun hat to the dungeon.
You toss your sun hat into the soil. You can hear them kind of saying, "What's a hat like this doing in a place like Dragonsgrave?" Rosanna walks you through. She just tells you, "This is after you see Tristan and Tanya jump into a portal, by the way." Just, Rosanna just kind of tells you, your siblings have decided to go messing around with the orb and have been transported to a different location. That is something else. We have a bit of an issue. I have come to the realization just now that there was a... This was before your siblings went in. However, Master Eden, I have come to the realization that we are being spied on, at least within the arcane halls. There was a small faint trace of scrying magic that was placed here. I have gotten rid of it. I have also... it was not around when... She just kind of quickly opens her blindfold to reveal two gray eyes that just light up. Just looks around before completing her sentence. Yes, they were not here when your brother came over requesting any information about the sphere, and I have gotten rid of it after the... before your brother jumped into the sphere. But it remains to be seen who placed the ward there. The blindfold back. But it seems that we are being watched, at least around here. I have gathered some of my students and asked them to patrol the halls, detect for any sort of magics or invisibility that does not belong there. And I've also requested the aid of the three sorceresses to assist in finding these wards, but I thought it prudent to inform you what has been going on.
Who's the one who cried on us?
I am currently trying to find out.
Huh. Weird. And the only people who went in here are the warfare and
The Dragonsgrave area. Sorry, that was renovated, but what I'm saying is all of your people under you are known by the guilds, just so you know.
Are there any scrying glyphs in this area?
No, I have searched for it. Nothing around. I have personally went through the room if you would like to do the same. But for now, there is no scrying magic. However, remains to be seen.
I should keep this place on watch.
I have put up some... I have requested for the aid of the elves to put up wards around my arcane laboratory to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
I just wanted to report to you, Master.
Thank you for the report. So I would tell Mage about this.
Please do.
It's very risky.
I will work on discovering the source of this scrying and determining who had placed it here.
Thank you.
Go back to Mage. What is Mage doing after all the politics and nation states?
She's drinking.
Has a mug of ale just as you open her door without knocking, I presume.
Okay.
Mage, someone's spying on us.
She just kind of opens her door
Mage.
like The Shining, just Mage.
Mage.
Say, I have two questions. Do you think it's either someone from the guild or a pervert?
Or someone from the guild. I don't know. I didn't even notice it.
At least it's not
You're
a
so
pervert.
bad.
Could be both.
I suppose that's well. I suppose it can't be helped.
I mean, they found it inside the arcane halls, and I didn't even notice it. I was too busy farming, and then this happened.
But
And
if that got past even you and our clerics,
maybe, I mean, it's impossible that the Guild of Warfare would do that to us. But maybe one of our servants. I don't trust them now. This is making me nervous, anxious. I'm sweating. Mage. I'm sweating.
who mentioned it to who mentioned it to you that we were possibly being scried on?
Rosanna.
Rosanna.
Suppose when Tanya gets back, though. Oh no! If we're going to talk to her, Tanya take Lucas.
Yes.
All right then, Ida. This is what we're going to do. You're going to look for Lord Vane. Tell him that from now on, he needs to post a squire to keep track of everyone who goes in and out of the arcane halls. Everyone. That way, at least, if there are any outliers, we can at least know. It's easier to track down suspects from the usual people who come to see us. The other half of that is you want to spy on us. If you didn't detect it, that means that's some pretty shifty magic. That'd be the Arcane Guild. Prefer not to think of that right now. Let's not discuss that. Would want to know what we were doing. The Arcane Guild who were here. Suppose I will want to talk to Rosanna after she's investigated it a little more. I don't want to have any suspicions as of now.
Yeah, she's looking on it. She's still looking on it to, like, who casted that scrying thing in the arcane halls.
That means at least now you have a second. At least now you have a second job that's more interesting than farming duty.
You are right about that, but farming is also interesting. I mean,
It's true. Farming is true. I personally would enjoy farming a lot more than having to deal with the guilds, but I suppose I don't really have a choice. Just keep up with what you're doing. I suppose I would ask you to look into that as well, the scrying magic, and see how we can protect ourselves from that from now on. If you do figure out who did it, though, please let me know. I'm supposed to meet with. I'm going to be meeting with the Baroness Kiara, and hopefully meeting with the Baroness Kiara, and I wrote a letter to Lord Boga, so see how that turns out.
Just a clarification: the letter to Kiara, was that for tonight? Tea for tonight?
No.
Okay. So you're just waiting for a response of when she might be available.
And then I'll figure out what I'll do from there.
You should tell me when you would meet with her so I can cast a spell on you that would help you with, the negotiations thing.
I'd help too. Or you could meet her. I mean, you are a wizard, and supposedly she is a very interesting goddess, one of the more cryptic ones. Maybe you could help out.
What about the farming?
Well, you will be doing the farming on the side. Just gonna drink wine.
Okay.
Anyone gonna find me is anyone gonna find me a goddamn husband in this charms and shades and scrying magic and portals and old men with binaries and not a
Wait,
single husband
what
material in
about
sight.
Sir Bane?
Thank you, Lord. Thank you,
He's
Ida.
pretty interesting.
Lord Bane is twice his age, twice her age.
I mean, Lord Bane.
No offense to Lord Bane, but his well's probably dry. Oh, no.
Like fine wine.
Even wine has an expiry, Well's dried up, we're not looking into that anymore. So
Wine ages well, The more it ages, the more it tastes good, right?
Depends on the temperature. Depends on the temperature. You still
That's
need
true. You need
still
good
need the
conditions.
great condition.
So,
we're not discussing this with Lord Bane. We're not doing this with Lord Bane.
before we do this,
Not
Okay,
going
let's
to work.
forget about it.
Tanya and
Let's
Tristan.
Tristan.
forget about it and move on.
Tanya and Tristan, before what happened with Eden, you arrive in the arcane halls with the two knights and Lucas. As Rosanna just kind of looks at Sir Tristan and just says, Lord Commander, I'm assuming that you would like to experiment more with the orb. I suppose I cannot stop you. Please be careful. It may result in some accidents. Were you to press this one rune that has already been placed there?
Like this room?
Out of curiosity,
Yeah,
Hold
before
on. Yes, before you.
before we poof out, do I notice anything off in this with my
Room?
passive perception?
No.
Mhm.
No.
Okay. But
Just-
I pressed.
But sorry, when you did enter, I forgot to mention, when you did enter, Rosanna was kind of scanning the room. And given that she is the head mage here aside from Ida, if she's talking openly, it might be safe. As you press, Tanya was about to think, think, think. None of you hear this, but she just kind of picks up the ball and says, "How unfortunate," and then just puts the ball back. The rest of you find yourselves falling down complete darkness. Even those any form of dark vision granted to you does not help, it's like staring into black. You're just falling down, but eventually you all land softly, gently. Even though you feel like you've been falling down for about a minute, you land gently on the ground, and you are before a kingdom in ruins. A large, kind of mostly graphite and limestone kingdom structure with some of the wooden houses that have been degraded over time. This place has not been destroyed by natural means or wear and tear. This place was destroyed by warfare. There have been cannons and arrows, fireballs, and spells have befallen this entire place. Especially to you, Tristan, given your knowledge of warfare and tactics, this is the site of a war zone that has been completely annihilated. This place has multiple deaths, and given the frigid cold of the nature, the Iceshard Mountains just behind. In fact, you can see at the center a keep, or what would have been a keep, that looks like boulders and spells and fire has befallen it, and the stonework has just kind of fallen apart. Behind that keep is the Iceshard Mountains itself. So the keep is actually embedded into the mountain. You understand that this was a massacre, and going forward, exploring, your knights kind of call on to you, pointing out these corpses, these skeletons that have been perfectly preserved by the cold, frigid winter of this place. Are either of you proficient in history?
That's intelligence, right?
I need
Yeah, I am,
proficiency.
I am.
Make a history check. But this one will have disadvantage.
Oh, disadvantage. Disadvantage is 19.
Okay. You have not just studied history, you have also looked into lost history. There's little to do in the north. of interest now that it's sort of relative peace. So, lost history has caught your eye every now and then. Not that you're a scholarly man, but some of it catches your eye as interesting. One thing you know about the changeling is that they are a dying breed, but most people don't know why. You have found a few scriptures about the changeling kingdom. It was widely regarded as a myth. All of this up to this point you thought was just some sort of joke or a myth, or maybe it was just a village, or maybe it's just a small keep where changelings used to stay. Now that you're here, you're starting to see that changeling kingdom existed. At some point in time, those rumors that you thought were just stories and legends was real. The changelings did have an entire kingdom. And now you're starting to also understand your suspicion earlier that the kingdom of Hazion was built on top of its ruins. They probably had nothing to do with the destruction of the changelings, but they just kind of borrowed the land. That explains why this sort of castle keep is within the borders of Hazion. Moving through, you find symbols and broken pieces of armor, plate armor and metal, broken kind of symbols and shapes that gathering through you figure is a symbol. It's a symbol of it's a circle that has the face of a crescent moon and then darkness here, and there's sort of a face of a play. I don't know what you call those, the masks of the play. Best guess, this might have been the symbol of the changeling kingdoms that you have read in some rumors and stories passed down. This is the description of it. You're starting to get the idea that this was more than just rumors. This was real. The changeling kingdom did exist, and this is where they were. What happened to them, who did this to them, and why it's been erased from history, there's no way of knowing right now. But you are here. Your knights look at you and ask, "Sir, should we start investigating? Split up, or do we stick together?"
Can I do a perception check if this is something that people can go to physically?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
Do I sense anyone? Any sense of size of life around us?
Bestial creatures. The usual winter wolves that move around. All of you are well trained to handle that. Not a problem.
12.
Well, this area is a little large. It's a very big kingdom. It's a very large area. Splitting up, you might be able to cover. You were transported in the center, and if you split up and kind of go in a circle, you will be able to cover the keep and the general area surrounding that center within 4 hours.
Okay, but it looks safe, right?
The only threats here are the beasts that all of you are well trained to handle. Not even an issue.
Okay, let's split up so that we can cover more grounds in 4 hours.
The two knights take one side. It's kind of banding together. They're trained to never go alone, so they kind of band together. Yeah.
Can I also aside from rare things, if we can find some journals and books about them?
Of course, sir. We'll try to find. He's kind of stepping on the ground. Tink, tink, tink. Moves the snow a bit. Lumps of steel. Norman just kind of looks at Zenri, hands it to him. They're not talking to you yet, they're just kind of looking at each other. Sir? Zenri goes up to you. Would you hold this? It looks like steel, doesn't it? It does. When you hold on to it, steel is not that light.
Oh. Would I know?
Intelligence check.
Dang it, let's do 11.
There are some stories of lighter metals. You're not sure which one, but all of them rare.
Okay.
This does not look like ore, by the way. This looks like a processed piece of steel that has been destroyed, but Given everything around you is completely in ruins and everything's just decrepit, this is pristine. Scratches, but pristine. Mold hasn't gone to it. It hasn't rusted. It looks like a piece of plate mail. It's lighter than it should be.
Okay, I'm just gonna tell them also something like that. That is something that will help us.
Yes, sir. We'll find whatever we can. It's not each other. They move. Lucas looks at you, Tanya, and says, "Should I go looking as well?"
Try to stay safe.
Of course. He steps back,
4 hours.
disappears in the shadow, understands the 4 hours, and you don't see him anymore. Disappears in the snow. He has carried with him white robes to match the snow of the place. The two of you are free to explore another side or go to the keep. Your choice.
Tanya, to the keep.
I mean, if there's anything valuable, it's bound to be inside the keep.
You move inside the
I am
large.
stealthing.
Make a stealth check. What's your passive stealth? 10 plus a
Passive.
modifier 17.
17, yeah.
27. Don't bother. Gonna move through.
Just gonna
Tristan.
look at Tristan and you'll find me if you say my name. I'm gonna vanish.
Tristan.
Like 3 times.
Tanya's is gone.
Tanya.
Tanya, yeah.
Beetlejuice. Wait, I'm alone here. No.
Tanya.
You move forward. The massive doors of the citadel completely destroyed, but the citadel door looks like it's made of the same steel that you were carrying. Lightweight, easy to push around, but incredibly durable. Because while they are destroyed, they are not as destroyed as the surrounding structure. Meaning they took a bigger hit. They took more of hits to be destroyed than the surrounding area, which is stone and cement. Steel is light. Despite the massive size of what's left of the door, it is easy to push.
Okay, I'll just take note of that and carry that on my way out.
On the inside, you find rocks and stone and large boulders that look like they were smoldering. You've seen flaming orbs, flaming boulders on catapults before. Common siege tactic. This is what it looks like. Destroyed, launched into. This place was attacked. You also see skeletons and dust and people with swords in their throats. There was also a war zone here. Make an investigation check for the two of you.
14.
14?
I'm proficient in investigation, so 17.
17. Okay. Tristan, first you find most of the armor with the symbol that you saw earlier, the kind of crescent moon with the mask. The curious thing that you find is a different type of armor. It is steel. It's a different kind of steel, sort of a greenish hue, also very light, flexible, with a different symbol on it. Make me one more history check.
22.
22. That is the symbol of the Elven Kingdom of Duefgar. The High Elf Kingdom before this continent kind of divided among races, when they were still the head races of the continent. This was their old symbol.
Okay.
And this, what you're holding now, not the steel that you found earlier, but the steel you find on this corpse with that symbol, is Elven steel. Elven plate mail known to be very light and flexible, but just as durable as steel. You're starting to piece together that the High Elves did something to this place. Might have been the attackers, you're still not sure, because these are just corpses on the ground. But at the very least, you know that they knew of this place, because they were here.
Yeah, and there are two people. At least the two people are fighting, two factions. At least we know the elves.
It's still
and the one that crescent moon.
It's still possible that they were aiding each other, because you have not found any signs that there was aggression. You just have signs that they were present here. And as you look around this castle, there's more and more of them. So it's not just one or two people. There is a possibility that this was a fight, but there's an equal possibility that they were here helping. There's no kind of signs that they were fighting each other until Tanya goes around to the other side. You find the same thing that Tristan does, and you're aware of Elven steel. Your bow is even Elven. But you find something interesting. You find one of the swords that is associated with the armor of the guys of the Crescent Moon stabbed into the armor, the chest armor of this Elven plate. And you find more of these kind of war zone-like things with Elven swords stabbed into the plate of the other plate, and vice versa. The other thing that you find on a 17, curiously, you look up and there's some sort of weird burn hole across the wood, as if something burned through the wood and just kind of created a hole. And when you follow that down onto a pile of rubble that seems to have landed on its shaft, it's a blade that is glowing red hot.
Steel? It's still glowing after
It
all
is-
this year?
It is glowing red, like flaming red. It's not like your sword that goes on fire, but it looks
Yeah,
like it just came out of the forge.
Can I try to pick it up?
You can just make a strength roll just to kind of. It seems to have melted some of the rocks around it, so it got lunged inside.
Got it too.
Can't pick it
Oh.
up. But Tristan, eventually you're gonna hear Tanya struggling because she breaks her stealth.
Hey,
You find that she's trying to pick up this sword that looks like it just came out of the forge.
let me help you with
It is-
that.
It is emanating an incredible amount of heat. You are all in winter clothing.
So warm.
The moment you're around it, it's very warm, and while you're gathered around it for a minute while you're pulling it out, you start to sweat from the heat that it produces. But Tristan, make a strength check.
That's 18.
18. You, with Tanya's help, just kind of. You can see that it's melted. It seems to have touched a bit of stone, and the stone melted, and as soon as it got to the base, it sort of solidified again, and just kind of stuck the sword there. As you pull it out,
Oh, the
breaking the stone.
stone.
So
Yeah, the
imagine,
stone
imagine
melted.
the sword hits the stone, so the stone
Yeah.
starts to melt, and you can see the melted stone. So once it melted, it got to the base where the sword isn't hot anymore, where it's not glowing to the handle, and it's solidified around the handle, keeping it stuck there. So you just break free. The sword is glowing red. It's as if it just came out of the forge. You feel like you're
Still?
inside a forge. This is the warmest you've ever felt in your entire lives right now.
So warm.
As
Well,
you
I guess you have a new sword.
It's a long sword that seems to be. It's just glowing hot. There's no sign of it stopping. You kind of wave it into the cold, and you can see the frost in the air start to melt into water that vaporizes into steam as it lands at the sword.
Can I look if there's a... I mean, there's a hole
Yep.
up.
Like
And
5-6 floors up.
Is there a body under that hole
No.
where I pick up the sword?
No, the hole
like
seems
a
to have,
sword.
Was thrown?
the hole seems to have been made by the sword.
Oh.
Like
Do
the
I
sword
see
kind of
sheath?
melted through.
Yeah, you saw
Going-
this first.
Going around, there's no sheath around here.
Oh.
However, do any of you speak Elven?
I think I do. Dwarven and Elven.
Dwarvish and Elvish?
Elven, yes.
Elven.
Dwarvish
The
and
sword is surrounded with Elven runes.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, sorry, no, Dwarvish. This Dwarvish. This sword is surrounded by Dwarvish
Same.
runes,
Same,
Then you
same.
both
I have
recognize.
Darvish.
covered in Dwarvish runes everywhere. But the Dwarvish runes are sort of older, more ancient. Not before the Reckoning, but older than the current Dwarvish.
Oh, so we cannot read what's
No,
inscribed.
you understand. It's not before the Reckoning. It's just older, kind of like English, and then there's ye olde whatever, that sort of difference. But you find that the Dwarvish runes are not necessarily the Dwarvish language, more of Dwarvish enchantments. They don't necessarily represent words, they represent an enchantment or magic that's been placed on it. And upon closer inspection, because Tanya has the perception of 29 and I think a passive investigation of somewhere around that range, you find closer that the heat emanating from the blade actually comes from the runes itself, not from the metal. The runes seem to be heating the metal and at the same time keeping it solid.
Well, you have a flaming sword. I don't think anyone would miss it.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, let me hold on to it.
You'll have to literally hold on to it because anything it touches seems to burn.
Like, like that. Okay.
Maybe we should look for the sheath if there is one. I mean, I don't think any smart person would just carry that everywhere without a sheath.
Yeah. Does it seems like it just crushed into the ground?
It seems like it melted from the roof and then landed here. And then just kind of melted the stone around it into this sort of holding place.
Yeah, I'm just telling Tanya, it looks like it came from that hole up.
One other thing, make an intelligence check as you kind of look at that scene. Both of you can.
15.
18.
Both of you realize that the ground above, just kind of looking at it, that's been here a couple of years maybe. The damage is give or take 2 or 5 years. So it's not as ancient as the kingdom's damage. The damage is recent. Someone's been here before.
Oof.
Wanna check it out?
We're here to investigate. At least you have a glowing sword to show the mage. Okay, no, maybe that doesn't sound good. I'm just gonna walk.
How high is it?
Roof, floor to ceiling is about 15 feet, and it looks like
15?
it's about 5 or 6 floors above where it came from.
How big is the hole?
Size of the sword?
Can it fit a horse?
No. The sword kind of melted through, burnt a bit of a hole, and then kind of kept melting through.
Casting Greater Steed? Pegasus?
Is that 10 minutes?
Let me see.
Greater Steed.
Yeah, Greater Steed.
I mean, it's fine. I'm just making sure there's
Yeah.
10. Okay?
Yeah,
I
it's
can
10
investigate
minutes.
while he's chanting.
Sure, make another investigation check while he's kind of looking.
Paladins and their magic. Everyone has magical abilities in this family. Like, been walking.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes.
30-20.
20. You look around as Tristan kind of concentrates to summon a steed. You keep looking around the area. You find a few scriptures and journals and notes. It's weird because when you look at the note, it's written like it's scribblings, just random scribble of a child. But as soon as you look at it, the notes begin to shift and change into common. As in the ink starts to move itself.
Weird magical.
Most of it that you find is history. Changeling Kingdom has gone through many names. The most common one before it, well, you don't know if it's before the attack, but the year dates is not measured by the reckoning. You don't recognize the AY dating system, but that's what it says. So because you don't recognize what 557 AY means, it really means nothing to you. But you kind of look through, and you find that this is the Changeling Kingdom, has gone through many names and many iterations. The one from 550 AY, what this note tells you is Vzgar. V-I-Z apostrophe G-H-A-R-R. This was the iteration, at least in the notes that you find. It is a kingdom of changelings that seem to have been protecting some sort of relic. or item that is hidden within the mountain, within the top of the mountains that are behind the keep. The mountains also are cursed for some reason. Cursed or magical or enchanted or something, but the mountains have their own defenses according to this. That's about everything you find when you kind of piece them together. Tristan, you have summoned the Pegasus just... You cannot fly up. You can no, not all of them is wood. You can actually fly outside and go up to the window.
Or I can use the wall to burn out a hole.
Oh, you
The
want to
sword?
use the sword to burn a hole?
Yeah, going up.
You'll destroy the.
Kind of poke the sword. As soon as it touches the wood, it catches flame, and the Pegasus moves around. It's
But
slow.
the flame isn't. It isn't right.
It spreads
Got it.
fervor, but it's so cold that the flame doesn't spread well. Next floor.
Just gonna point at Tanya if she wants to come with the horse.
Tristan, are you really burning this kingdom?
No, I'm just creating a hole just so that.
You could just walk 6 steps.
Oh yeah.
There are stairs. There are flights of
There
stairs.
are 6 floors. You're going to burn 6 floors,
I didn't know
Tristan.
there are stairs.
I thought
I just know.
that was implied. I thought that was implied. There's no stairs in the room you're in, but there are stairs outside in the Great Hall.
Can you retcon that? I'm not gonna burn a kingdom because I
Okay.
didn't found the stair.
Let's say you.
The low-end duo.
Okay. Let's say you summoned your steed and left it outside for a quick escape. As you
Yeah,
kind of
okay.
go up 6 stairs, Tanya's found most of what you find. When you get to the 6th floor, yeah.
I'm just gonna show Tristan while we're climbing up. So I found this book. Looks magical. Seems to change every time I look at it. So
Tristan,
you
when
said you
you
wanted to look for books, right?
look at the papers, Tristan, it's just scribbling. Nothing happens. Just weird noodle scribbles.
I actually cannot understand it.
Doesn't it change for you? I mean, it looks
To
like
you,
weird
Tanya,
scribbles,
it's
but
common. It's in common. Tristan,
it's
but
common.
Tristan to you, it's just scribbles. Doesn't look like a language.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what language that is. Just random
Common.
scribble. Trust me, I can read, but I cannot read that.
Right. Maybe Ada would know more about this. I can
Yeah.
take it. I'm gonna shove it
Yeah,
in my
take it.
bag of holding.
When you guys get to the 6th floor, there are multiple bodies. Well, there's one body of a dead guy. It looks like a ritual was done around him. Again, the cold kind of distorts your perception of time, but he did not die with his kingdom. He is still a corpse. There's no skeleton. It hasn't rotted. The cold has preserved his body. But it looks like some form of ritual was done around him. And it looks like his head just blew up.
Oh,
You can still see the frozen bits of blood splatter, and his body's just there with the circle surrounding him.
is there a ritual circle around him?
Yes,
Well, that's brutal.
but it's been erased. There's only remnants of the circle. So what you find is him and his head blown up, and this is a reference to our old campaign. But
Mm-hmm. Feels bad,
Oh.
man.
Okay.
Can I investigate
Yeah,
further to look for the sheath?
make an investigation check.
I'll also investigate near the hole where the
Make an investigation check.
Minimum, going for the minimum roll to hold. 17.
17.
Oh,
Tanya, you do find a sheath, or you find a sheath that also has dwarven runes.
Tristan,
have
think I found
21.
it.
Okay. While you're looking for that, Tristan, you're looking at the wall, the flooring. You confirm your suspicion that it's not that old. Few years since this happened. You also find bits of melted metal next to the hole. Make an
Arcana?
no. I'm gonna call it insight. Just a gut feeling of what happened.
9 plus 8, 17.
17. You find that given the sword's nature, if it were to touch your thigh, the steel around your thigh, it would instantly melt that steel, causing you a lot of pain. It is not beyond the realm of possibility that it might have touched someone's thigh for some reason. The pain caused it to drop the sword, and then the sword melted through the holes, meaning there may have been some sort of conflict involving this corpse here. You're not sure?
Okay.
What you do know is that there is your cleric, Celestine, in the land. I'm not sure if you have it, but your cleric has the ability to determine the legend and the general lore surrounding an item should you provide it to them. So that's a way to know more.
I'm just gonna try to sheath the sword.
Tanya hands you a sheath. Obviously taking a little bit of care because it might melt it. You're surprised to find that the sheath doesn't melt. Placing the sword in the sheath, you see the runes start to glow faintly. Not enough to show a light source, but they just kind of glow. And the sword fits perfectly in. You no longer feel the heat of the blade. And you just feel the frost again.
Okay. What time is it?
You've been here for about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Can I investigate this floor? General investigation.
Make one more check.
Yeah. Can I find a rope so that I can collect some of the armors? I can bring it back.
Rope or bag?
Or maybe a bag.
I'm gonna assume that you brought a bag since you're supposed to be bringing back steel. So, Anya, 17.
So I'll be just collecting everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Tanya, you look around the room, around the floor. It looks like some chambers, destroyed beds. You see the hole where the boulder in the first floor came from. Just and you look down. There's the boulder. You find more of those notes, scribbled around, but these look more like journals. One of them that you find just kind of, again, squiggled lines that turn into common for you. Just kind of says, "Oh no, it's what I feared. The High Elves are attacking. I need to protect my daughters. I need to find a way out. There has to be some way to protect. There has to be some way to protect us. The mountains. Perhaps the mountains will protect us. The tablets must be saved. The mountains must provide." Seems to have been written in a hurry. But that's the only part of it that's kind of still salvageable. Does specifically say the High Elves are here. Oh, sorry, no. It specifically says the elves are here.
Tristan?
Yeah?
Looks like the elves attacked the Changeling Kingdom.
Well, we did saw a sword.
Oh, yeah. Actually, when we were downstairs, I saw like a sword. Yeah, they were fighting.
No, they are.
There's like a
They were fighting.
Yeah.
What else did you find?
Well, apparently there's this tablet that really valuable for them back up in the mountain. Also, the notes did say that it's cursed and protected and stuff.
Yeah, we'll just take note of that.
Tristan?
Something to
Do I
report?
see anything valuable?
Around here, nothing that's still in one piece. Almost as if someone has gone through a lot of the things here.
Yeah.
Looks like someone did.
So
go
it's
through a lot
just
of things here.
It looks like that this place not only has been damaged, but has also been raided in recent memory.
so the only thing that we get are the elven armors and the thing that
Well, you haven't gone back to your group yet. They've gone to
Yeah.
different directions. But for you, elven armor, piece of weird steel,
we steal.
and these notes that seem to be only readable to Tanya.
Okay.
Um,
Let's check out the others, I think.
Alright.
As you gather back to the front of the keep where you were supposed to meet, right about 10 minutes before the portal is meant to open again, Norman and Zenri come back and said, with a huge sack. It's kind of
Oh.
both of them carrying sacks. One of them just kind of puts it down. Zenri puts it down and says, Commander, this is all the steel ores, and we have found a very well-mapped mine. It's about 20 minutes that way, west. Full of steel.
That's great.
Odd thing, Commander. You see a giant sack that you would assume must weigh at least a ton of steel. He hands it to you with one hand. You hold it and it's heavy, but that much steel should not be this light.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's
Good
light,
work.
sir. I'm not sure what this is, but it's very, very light. Takes it.
Good work.
And you see the other one, Norman just kind of put down his sack. It's a little heavier than the other. It doesn't sound like steel. And so I found some notes. They're all weird lines. Doesn't look like a language, but I thought they might be important. A bunch of notebooks, journals, notes, and whatever else. Apparently this place had a library, and I took whatever was still fixed there. Notes, some amulets, curious-looking pieces of broken armor and shields. This looks like some sort of ancient elven sword to me. But let's put it there. Random things, sir.
That's good. We can sort it out when we get back. And as per our Baroness, you can take at least one of them. One whatever you like when we come back.
Yes, sir. We've taken liberty of grabbing something, mostly sentimental, but yes.
Okay.
Lucas shows up from behind all of you. Excuse me. And the only one who isn't surprised is Tanya. Child is. He just looks at. He's not angry, but he just kind of almost had a heart attack. Lucas just looks at you, Tanya. Yeah.
A knight squealing like a schoolgirl. No, I'm a noble knight.
I am knight of Dragonsgrave. You see, I'm a knight of Dragon. You see, Lucas kind of hand you. He doesn't have much with him, but he does hand you a distinctly elven dagger. He hands you what looks like a the term. He hands you, well, he doesn't hand you, he points you in the direction of what looks like a grave. Like someone buried someone here.
Tristan, I'll be right back.
Still have like 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Just be quick.
You move and Lucas shows. These graves are freshly dug. Someone might have been here and dug them. At least a few years ago.
Do I see writings?
The dug graves and the stones that mark them.
How many?
Several. Dozens. Someone took the time. I wonder who.
I wonder who. Well, I guess we can just leave them here.
He just kind of looks around. One other thing. Kind of pulls out strange looking rock. Like it's part of something that's been snapped off. It's weird. He just points to one part of rock that's still glowing, with the faintest bit of magic that's kind of dying out.
May I?
Hands it to you.
Do I notice anything odd about it?
Just that one symbol that looks like it was part of a hole that's been broken off that's just glowing. I tried to look for the other pieces, but I couldn't find it.
Where did you find it?
He traces from the top of the mountain to the base of the mountain next to the keep.
Well, I guess it's worth looking into. Does it look like it came from a part of a tablet? It was mentioned in
It looks like it's part of a stone, and most tablets are made of stone.
Hmm. Well, I guess it's worth checking into. Ida might be able to detect what's inside. Shopping in?
Of course.
Did you
Not,
find anything you want?
not really.
Well, I suppose we can come back here and loot the place after. Seems safe.
Tanya, I think video froze, but not.
Yes.
Let me. Is it better?
Yes.
No.
No.
It's
There you are.
Let me just reconnect. Okay.
I don't know
now.
what's happened. I don't know what's happening, but I think there you are.
Is it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You guys gather back to the center.
Mm-hmm.
The portal says, Lord Commander, I apologize for the delay, but it took me about exactly 4 hours to reopen the portal.
oh, that's good. It's good. Thank you, Rosanna.
You guys walk back in. Well, Lord Commander, you must have been brought to a foreign land, and seem to have taken a lot of things.
They are just there laying there. No one's actually. Okay.
Fair.
Such a waste. Such a waste.
True. Do you require my services?
No. Oh, I'm just gonna. Tanya, is the stone something magical that Rosanna can check?
Yeah.
Definitely magical.
What kind?
You can't detect magic, can you?
Not me. I'm asking Rosanna.
Yes.
Interesting. It's all of it. Every kind of
All-
magic and more. Something very, very powerful. Very ancient.
Hmm.
It is older than anything I've ever handled. Far older than this sphere.
Maybe we should look into it. Next time we get transported into Sugud by accident.
I shall do some experiments. See what this is about. Puts it in her
Also,
lab.
we do have some sort of magical skill that are very light.
You show it. Oh dear. I believe you found some mithril. Lightest steel ever produced. Very easily enchantable. Very valuable too.
Oh, it's really nice.
Incredibly light steel, but more durable than your average steel. Makes it flexible, easy to sneak around with.
I know what to do with this, but I'll need the permission of our Baroness with all of these things that we just got scattering around.
Rosanna? I
Yes.
have a question. In theory, you
Yes.
said this steel can be enchanted.
Yes.
Can it be turned into something like an accessory and have it enchanted with your magic?
Possibly. It really depends. Depends on the kind of magic you might need a little more. But possibly, and conceivably I could.
So I was
Okay.
wondering if you can enchant it with that thing that Ida uses on me. The one that prevents crying, I think?
That may take a little bit of money and so considerable amount of steel for the trial and error, and perhaps maybe 1 to 2 weeks, but I think it can be done.
I'll request it from Mage later. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, you're just gonna signal everyone, and we'll go to Mage. Show her the loot.
Okay. You guys head over to Mage, who is sorry, while you guys have been gone, Mage, Lord Bane, about 2 or 3 hours into the disappearance of Tanya and Tristan. Baroness. May I enter? Can't hear you.
Lord Bane, you may. Fourth.
Baroness, Baron Drogas has approved of the request to discuss about the winery and the vineyards. He requests, based on his schedule, if he would be allowed to, if you would be visiting him, or would he have to visit you? And in either way, he has expressed his preference to use teleportation circles with guards, of course, to expedite the process.
We will be meeting at his place then.
Very well. He has mentioned that, as is custom, you are allowed to bring 3 of your finest warriors as your personal guard. He has given a schedule of when he is available. This would be 3 nights from now.
No. Okay.
The other one,
that should give me some time to prepare the agenda. All right, Lord Bane, proceed.
The other one, curiously, Baroness, you have received a reply from Baroness Olsworth, Kiara Olsworth, somehow. Very short.
By now.
Very short, as is expected, but.
How short? I just asked her for tea, Lord Bane. What? Yeah.
Her reply is, tomorrow night, my castle. A mage will be sent. A wizard will be sent.
Okay.
I presume Baroness Kiara is a cryptic woman. I presume she means that a wizard will be in charge of transport, as she does not seem to want to give out her teleportation circle.
I thought that too. Well, I assume that my siblings will be back anytime now. We will have time to discuss.
Very well.
We will have time to discuss what I am to discuss with Baroness Kiara.
Also, there's a matter. End of the note. She's asking for our circle. It's based on context. She likely already knows what our circle looks like, as does most people, but perhaps a request of permission to use for her wizard?
Permission granted.
I shall inform the Baroness immediately. That is all.
Lord Bane.
Ida, you are contacted by Rosanna about an hour before Tristan and Tanya come back, and she just said, Lady Ida, a word?
Yeah? What is it?
Regarding the scrying problem, Lady Ida, I do believe I've found the source of the scrying, and it is not, curiously enough, not part of the guilds. The scrying comes from the north, in Hazion. Not from the capital, but within the area, not from any civilized part of Hazion, but somewhere from its dense frozen forests.
Interesting. Going to tell Mage about this.
That is as much as I can gather, my lady. But I shall keep looking into it.
Thank you.
Also, if you would mind informing the Baroness, we have found a second sigil on this sphere. It does not produce any form of material, however, it does lead into, strangely enough, another continent. A kingdom in another continent.
Oh! Okay, wait, what continent is it?
I'm still in the process of locating it, as I cannot tell without entering the portal itself, and I was not privy to enter a random kingdom and possibly get killed for trespassing. But it does, I am able to determine that it is...
We should hire one person and then jump into a portal and see if, I can just send them a message while they're in the other continent.
Well,
And
if the
that would.
person sent is dead, then it doesn't come to much. But I am able to decipher that it's another continent and a kingdom in that continent. I'm not sure which one. I will keep looking into it. But that is all the updates I have for you, my lady.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hmm.
You are sent out. As you help her
Mhm.
with some stuff, and the moment you kind of leave the room, just kind of close the door, the sound of an explosion or a sort of distortion in the wind appears in her place. You go back in.
Oh yeah. What happened?
You go back in. You see Tristan, Tanya, Lucas, and the two knights arrived again with
Bridget,
bags of steel. As
Welcome back.
they have just explained. You see that Rosanna's just finished explaining what Mithril is. Guys,
no, it's freezing.
Welcome back.
Tristan can draw out his sword.
How's your trip?
Oh, I'm just gonna show to Rosanna. Also, I have this sword.
The moment Tristan draws the blade, you feel an immense heat overcome the room as if you were standing next to a large fire. It warms you,
And something like that.
and it glows with
I'm
this
co-
orange heat. And Rosanna just looks,
Oh.
and she looks at you and says, "My dear Lord Commander, this is a sunblade. It's a very rare artifact that the dwarves invented. The sword upon its forging retains the heat of the forge as if it just came out. It is as strong, solid, and sharp as a regular sword, but it never loses the heat of the forge it was created in. This is a powerful artifact. It can only be sheathed by," points at your sheath, "one made of such a metal. This is quite rare and very powerful. This is well crafted."
Oh, I actually don't know what to do with it.
Well, Lord Commander, he just takes a lump of steel, puts it inside another steel pot, guides your sword to touch the steel. The moment it touches the steel, you can see the entire lump goes red hot, as if it heated the steel and eventually starts melting it until a minute passes and it just solidifies again and cools and says, "You touch any person's armor with that and they will feel immense pain."
Okay. I see. Maybe I'll talk to Mage also. Why does everyone talk to Mage every time they find new information? But yeah.
I mean, she did tell us to report.
Yeah, we will report all of this. Thank you very much for the information.
King makes sense of everything.
So, the time has
We make-
come.
As a group.
The time has come for the four of you to gather and deliver individual reports. Mage, your sisters and brother have arrived in your room.
At this point, I'm just looking grumpy because I've been writing papers all day. Like, oh, the wandering adventurers come back to meet your older sister. How have you all been?
Great.
Well, we have new information about the glyphs, and
Scrying.
surprisingly, it's not from the guild or any guild. It's
By the way,
from the
we're doing
north.
this alphabetical order, Ida.
We're doing this by age.
Oh,
By
it's so
age.
sweet.
By age.
We're doing this by age, and I'm just gonna look at Tanya by age.
Can you stop?
I mean,
And
if
since Ida
it's not
started,
from-
you start.
but
Either report.
Ida.
I have a hunch that it might be from the Night Hag. I mean, ever since the three sorcerer, the three elves live here, and they were talking about a night hag that's going to at least take one of their kind, and then, if it's not one of the guilds, at least that's the only idea I got so far. It's from the forest. Like,
What do we know
I,
about night hag?
Make an Arcana check.
I'm gonna let Ada do that. Although I will try to do it too.
Just snacking on whatever is in Mage's room.
Berries. Grapes.
Berries.
Raisins.
24.
24 grapes. One, Tanya is eating your grapes. Two, night hags are powerful witches capable of granting wishes. Incredibly powerful, incredibly dangerous, and usually come in a coven of three. Horrifically ugly as they are powerful.
I don't know what to make of that, Ada. I suppose it would be worth. What? You said something.
No. Go on. Go ahead.
Okay. I suppose it would be worth looking into the nature of night hags. We can learn more about. We don't know if these night hags are enemies yet, but if there are night hags trying to come to our castle, I would prefer to know everything I can about them. How's the farm, by the way?
Going well.
for about 2 days, it would be ready for farming, and I can't wait to farm some stuff, and
All right.
I'm going to show it to Alden.
Yeah. Preferably, we do maintain some secrecy about it. However, I have instructed for 16 capable folk from Frost Garden. 8 of them will be helping you work the farm here, and 8 will be going where Brother Tristan and Tanya just came from. Because the last time I checked, there was a mine over there. That mentioned last time we investigated. However, Ida, darling, do you have anything else to report?
So far, that's the only report I can give you.
I suppose orders are due. Older sister needs you to. So the farm is going okay, thank you. Has Celestine given you the good berries yet?
I
Not yet, no.
think so.
So since you're already here, I'm going to tell you. For Norman Raves, is that his name?
Yes.
That is his name. Sir Norman Raves found good berries to the north gate. Sometime in the next week, I want you to go into Frost Garden, see what we can do for our villagers, or you can talk to Alden maybe. If we could also try growing good berries.
There's a knock on your
Sounds
door.
great.
Mage. There's a knock on your door, Mage.
Oh. Yes?
It is actually Celestine. With a bunch of berries. Baroness?
Celestine! Hello. May.
I apologize
Nice
if I'm
timing.
interrupting. I was told to provide some of these berries to Lady Ida. I'm apologize it took so long. I was ensuring that they are right for eating, and they are. They're not poisonous. They don't taste as delicious as the good berries usually do, given the frigid cold, but they do provide the same nourishment.
We grow them, darling.
Yes, I have taken one of the berries. This variety seems to grow in the frigid cold. So we should be able to grow it here. If you would like it to taste a little more delicious, I suppose we could grow it in some sort of farm where we can, if you can produce the daylight. I believe Lady Ida was working on it. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
also an
in the
option.
dungeon.
In any
You go then,
case,
late.
I have taken
Very-
7.
Farming dungeon.
I have taken 7 of the 30 berries provided by Sir Raves to process and begin the growing process. It might take a few months before it blooms without the services of a druid, so it will take a bit of time, but once it grows, it will just continue producing.
Very, very well then, dearest sister. I suppose I can leave that to you. A portion shall go to the dungeon, a portion may go to Frost Garden.
Yeah. Now I have another reason to go there.
You can chill out. And apart from that, so there's that. There is the business with the Hag Witch.
He takes her
Yeah.
leave, by the way. Celestine just kind of bows, gives you some of the berries to try out, but leaves.
Mm.
Thank you, Celestine. So there is the business of the good berries. There is the business of the farm. You do have to continue talking with the 3 wizards, and
Yeah.
and since you're apparently much more skilled about it than I am, I want you to keep looking into how we can increase the warding defenses of our castle. Everything that needs to be, I'm leaving you in charge of that.
Okay. Should I tell them to put wards in your room after they finish warding my
You may
room?
want to put it in Tanya's room. None of you. I will. It's so important. I will say it again. None of you will touch a thing in my room.
Mm,
Right.
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 Yeah. Just
There's
kind
another
of
knock on the
we're
door.
just enter
Baroness, Marcus Bane comes in with a box.
for Bane.
The process of clearing out bricks from Lady Ida's room is possible, as is the placement of the runes, and these are things may have misplaced. I don't know where they belong, so I trust your judgment in where they must go to.
I trust Lord Bane that you may have taken a cheeky peek at what some of those things are.
Wait, what are those my things?
I presumed that it was for the Baroness to see. I did not know what they are, but one old man such as myself can only assume it might be incriminating to certain people, perhaps. Who is to say?
Thank you, Lord Bane.
Of
Please leave
course.
it on my desk. Lord
Just-
Bane, one last thing.
Yes.
Suppose I were to ask you to put a monetary value on those things you just found. How much do you think the owner of those articles would be willing to pay you and I to be split 50-50? Not mention a thing about any of these things?
You know how they say, Baroness, privacy is priceless. And so these things are more than just your average private things. I certainly trust.
I do hope they weren't unwholesome, Lord Bane.
I trust perhaps a couple of thousand gold pieces is not beyond the realm of possibility to maintain some form of privacy.
If ever I do find out then who owns those articles, then Lord Bane, thank you. I'll be sure to let them know of the valuation.
Of
To be
course.
split 50-50, of course. Wink, wink.
Of course. Just leaves.
Thank you.
Just goes out of the room.
Were you really interrupted? Yes, my lovely darling sister Ada. I believe I was just finished giving you all the
You don't know what's in the box, by the way.
Mhm.
There's a closed kind of wooden chest.
I was just so I believe that'll be the instructions. As soon as we get more money, I am presuming that the person who now has a box of very sensitive articles would be willing to pay. We may have Tanya's room warded. Should cover for everything.
I would like to be very open about the idea that if someone were to go through my room and if my things suddenly go missing, I hope I wouldn't be blamed if a lot of your items are taken because you did tell us not to go in your room, mage.
Ida, I did just make you head of arcane security. Having listened to your little sister, it would be very bad precedent. Very bad precedent. This did not push through now.
I'm going to check my room later.
You'll never know what happens.
We will get back to you, Ida, but that's it. There is the hag witch, there's the farm, there's the good berries. One last thing. I don't know if it's in our capabilities, but I would like you to begin exploring or scrying as to what's down there in the caverns.
Do you want me to send
Okay.
some knights just to see?
What exactly should I cry on?
Map. I suppose a map would be helpful first before we start sending men down there, like Tristan just suggested. I would like you to be able to try and make us a map and see what's down there.
Okay. I could do that.
Tonight's a little late.
Yeah.
But what's next, mage?
My dear sister, I would like to. You're hanging. What's that?
Sorry, mage, you cut off.
Am I still hanging now?
You're okay.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you then, dear sister Ada. That shall be all for now. We shall discuss your box of very interesting belongings later.
Oh my god, really? What's in the box?
I don't know what's in the box for you, but for me, it's a lot of
I'm
gold.
I'm going to use my mage hand.
Mage hand is a visible spell.
I know.
So there's a spectral hand mage that's coming for the box from Ida's hand.
I will also cast my own mage hand and stop it.
Holding hands in the middle.
There's a mage hand fight. The mage hands are having this sort of arcane arm hand wrestling contest.
Arm wrestle.
No. I will get
Use
back to you
strength.
later.
Roll strength.
While that's happening, Tristan, report.
Okay, I would like to report, my dear sister, that on my side, we found a lot of mithril, which is really nice. I would like to discuss that to our blacksmith, what we could do with it. Another one is we found a lot of elven armor, so that means a lot of elven skill also. Something that we can use. We found a map to the mines, just 20 minutes away from where we teleported. And aside from that, I do found this sword that I would like to ask permission from you if I could keep it.
Glowing red blade that produces a lot of heat.
I'm not touching that. What does it do?
Oh, the heat doesn't stop. So
Also heats
anything
metal.
touches it, yeah.
I suppose you could keep that. I don't know what I'd do with it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You
Okay,
will.
I do
You
have
will
a
have
question.
to.
What was
No, go on.
what was in that mine?
We didn't. Well,
Mithril. Your knights found a mithril mine. That's
Oh,
where they
it's a
got.
mithril.
That's where they got the lumps of steel from the mine.
Pumunta na sila. They've been there.
They found it because they found a map, and then they just kind of went to the first parts of it and found all these lumps of mithril.
Okay. Didn't ask. But that's what they're.
Mage.
Okay.
I'm just gonna tell also. I think I let Tanya report, but we found a lot of interesting journals and books from it.
Dearest sister, it is your last turn to report. My dearest sister, whose room is about to be warded and paid for by my other dearest sister. Go on.
Again, even if you do have wards, do not blame me if things suddenly go missing when you're not in your room. But first of all, your grapes taste horrible.
I'll
You should
stay out of
probably
my
wear.
lingerie.
I have no interest in your lingerie, but I think I can find something more embarrassing than that. But first of all, your grapes are really sour. I think that needs to be tinkered with. Second, we found a lot of books. Apparently, Tristan can't read them, so see if you can give it a shot.
Books.
You look at the scriptures; they are just this sort of noodle writing. Now, Mage, you are technically able to read any and all languages. That is not a language.
Okay.
That is like someone breaking instant noodles and putting it on paper.
I will
However,
hold on to that.
Mage, you have Eldritch Sight, yes? Do you?
Yes.
You have Eldritch Sight? So you are able to just passively
Wait,
detect.
let me double check that.
But as far as Eyes the Runekeeper, you are not able to decipher this as it is not a language. This is
Eldritch
just
invocations.
anything say about Eldritch Sight? Let me check too.
No, it says Eldritch invocations.
Yeah, anything else? Like invocation.
Shield, create.
Here, you have sight. You do have Eldritch Sight. It's on your spells list under the cantrips. Okay, so Eldritch Sight allows you to detect magic. So you have Eyes of the Runekeeper, which can tell you that this is not a language. This is just random drawings of a child, squiggly lines. But your Eldritch Sight tells you that not the paper or the book or the binding, the ink is magical. The ink used to write this lettering is magical, which explains that the paper is several thousands of years old and just about ready to turn to dust. But the ink is pristine and has not been affected by
know
age.
Anything about can I infer anything else about the ink?
You understand that it is some form of conjuration, which is normally the school of magic for transmutation. That's normally the school of magic of transforming and changing one thing to another. But the general nature of the ink seems to be transformative, like it was meant to turn into something else.
Can you read it?
I know it's old, but I can't read it in the sense of makes any sense.
In theory, do you need to know what's inside those books?
That I don't think I'd know, but I do know it is very old. Old.
Do you want to know?
I'm guessing. For some reason, she can read it.
I can read it.
What?
Yeah.
What does it say? I'm just gonna hand it back.
It's a bunch of changeling stuff, like the elves attack the changelings, and there's a really important treasure on top of the mountain. It's a cursed mountain.
On top of the mountain?
A cursed mountain, dear sister.
Cursed mountain.
Of course, it's a cursed mountain. Okay, we go back to the chainlings. We'll deal with that later.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a bunch of stuff here. Are you really going to ask me to study all of this?
Yes.
I hate studying.
Mage.
Thank you, dearest sister. We will discuss your schooling later. Yes.
Make an Arcana check, Mage.
School, damn it!
Don't skip school.
Arcana check.
Don't skip school, kids. Not a life lesson.
skip school,
My
kids.
intelligence says that I skip school, so my
It's not a
intelligence
life
says I
lesson.
skip school.
That's not a life lesson, please.
Got really low int.
This has been your public service announcement from Mage Giliath. Don't skip school, kids.
Don't skip school. Don't be like me.
It's 17 plus 9.
Don't buzz a
I don't know
rock.
if you can see that. It's
26. This is magical ink, and you understand based on Elder's Sight that this ink was made to look like this, meaning this is the transformed enchantment part. Someone sufficiently powerful might be able to dispel it and transform it back to whatever its base was.
That's more homework for Ada. More homework for Ada. Thank you, dearest sister.
Oh, Tanya, maybe
So
you
glad I didn't
forgot.
learn magic. What?
Tanya, maybe you're forgetting about the small stone that we shown to Rosanna.
Oh, I mean it's with Rosanna, but yeah, she said that there's like this weird stone that Lucas found by the mountain. Apparently, it has all kinds of magic in it. Rosanna says she'll look into it. If you want to look at it yourself, I can ask for it.
Yeah, also one of the things that Tanya told you about the tablet, it is supposed to be something that they are protecting and they run to the mountains with it. We don't know what the power of the tablet is, but it's in the Cursed Mountain, I assume, based on the
The
journal.
changelings are protecting it in that place, so
Were.
And it's still there?
no one knows.
Were protecting it. Changelings are
Were
extinct. Near extinct.
Can't really tell if it's still there, but there's no one protecting it, so I wouldn't put out too much hope.
That. Oh, I suppose we'll deal with it one at a time.
Okay.
So we have mithril. We have a mithril mine.
Elven Steel?
I am sending.
Elven Steel being limited because.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not sharing the Elven Steel. That's ours. For the mithril mines, I'm sending 4. It's been a day, right, Nigel? It's been a day. So in 2 days, we will be getting 16 villagers from Frost Garden who will come here to help us.
Yes.
Although 4 of them will go with Ada to help with the farm. 12, Brother Tristan, Lord Commander, I want you and your knights to help them mine mithril.
Like secure the mine with some of the knights.
Probably
while they are
protect them
mining.
from the wildlife.
Yeah, protect
While
from
they
the
mine.
wildlife.
Escort them, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Then, little sister, you and Lucas have been very helpful thus far. I want you and Lucas go and find out if that relic is indeed still there.
Sounds fun. We'll go at it. We'll look for it.
Up the mountain.
Up the mountain.
Hiking. We've done hiking before.
Yeah.
To a cursed mountain.
Nope. But she's eager to look at it.
Yeah. Then,
She has low int and low wisdom. Give this to her.
I need to play politics. So, Brother Tristan, I need enough mithril. Can you give me the first batch of mithril in a week?
Like, I mean, we do have some mithrils now.
Mithril that we just got is ours. We might share some with Frost Garden, but we need more.
Speaking of Mage,
Okay.
Yes.
can I have some of those mithril? Just to create a thing that would prevent them from scrying on me, because as stealthy as I am, that's one thing that always gets in the way. I
Yeah.
hate magic.
Also, mage, that would cost a lot, by the way. I heard
Oh boy, here it comes. How much is it going to cost?
The estimate? Somewhere about 2,000 to 3,000.
2 to 3,000 per amulet.
For the amulet she's asking for, yes.
And some mithrils for trial and error.
I mean, I can 2,000. I already have 2,000 with me. I can just use it. Although I'm gonna be flat out broke, so you can't expect anything from me after that. But I'm definitely gonna want that item because I really hate scrying.
Yeah.
You can take 8,000 from the family budget. We have 27, right?
Yep. From the
Take
stems,
8,000.
27,000 from the gems.
Yeah. Yeah, have one made for each of us.
Alright.
Will that consume all of the mithrils that we have? Nigel, I mean,
No,
calculation-wise.
no, the one that you've gathered so far, about half of it.
And at any rate, brother dearest, you may always mine some more.
Yeah, we will. My dear sister.
Alright then, and then so that's everything. You all have your assignments. I need to talk to Lord Bane.
Okay.
Alright. Squire calls for him.
You want to be private?
Do you want to be private? I mean, you can
We
do
can
it in
leave
your
you
group.
alone.
Are you trying to hit on him na?
That well has dried up decades ago. Father was probably alive last time he got.
Squire,
And
Since you're all insistent, you may all stay here. Bring it, Lord Bane.
Aren't you? I mean, your well will dry up too. You haven't used it.
I'm gonna stealth after that.
I'm just gonna go
I'm
out.
gonna vanish like stealth.
I'm going to
I'm gonna protect you
do
by the
invisibility.
so Ida disappears,
Stealthing.
Tanya disappears into the shadows, and Tristan just walks out of the room.
What did he say?
He
I
said-
got copy a bit.
He said that your well will also dry up if you don't use it.
Stealthing away from that.
Remind me to cut the Lord Commander's salary in half for that reminder.
So since everyone
He's
leaves,
hiding.
then you're not okay. So Tanya's hiding, Ida's invisible, and Tristan is by the door.
Yeah, by
Um,
the door.
Lord Bane approaches. He says, "Baroness, you sent for me."
Lord Bane, yes.
Yes.
We have just come into possession of some mithril.
Interesting.
I understand that such metal is useful to most people of this kingdom.
Such metal is useful to all peoples of all kingdoms, Baroness.
Lord Bane. However, you do know as archivist, you do have to monitor all of the mithril that we will now be mining. Yes.
Of course.
However, as you are also very old, I will also understand if you might miss a few things and fail to report the exact amount of mithril that we do mine.
Given my age, I must rely on a few estimates that may be mistaken here and there. You understand?
I'll stride up. Okay then. That being the case, Lord Bane, I need 2 more birds, blackbirds, 2 more ravens, black raven,
Yes.
black
Baroness.
ravens, Lord Raven, messenger ravens.
Yes, Baroness. To be delivered to who?
I would like. What do you think of perhaps making new friends in the guilds of warfare and commerce? I'm sure they would have some interest in some mithril. We may be willing to do our part in service to the kingdom. We should be informed.
If I may give a suggestion, Baroness, the Guild of Warfare holds all the blacksmiths and metallurgy. Informing the Guild of Commerce, I need not tell you, Martin Ludis is crass and an overall pig. He's rather disagreeable. If he were to get hold of information, he would likely find a way to control it. Use it. However, the Guild of Warfare is very poorly managed and not even looked at. Should they have some form of, shall we call it, new weaponry? I highly doubt any of the other guilds are going to notice. Chinese swords.
I suppose that new weaponry for the Guild of Warfare would also maybe allow us to start asking for a few things, maybe more jobs or more posts for some of our poor knights.
Guild of Warfare would be in debt. Depending on how much they order, we can give them discounts in exchange for favors. Lots of things can be negotiated once you have leverage.
You can start there, Lord Bane, then. I suppose I would agree. It'll have to be the Guild of Warfare for now.
Baroness, about the warding of the castle. One thing has occurred to me, if I may.
You may speak freely.
If you were spying on your enemies, and suddenly you cannot, like you are unable to spy on them any further, would you not be suspicious of their ongoings? Now,
What do you suggest?
Yes. I suggest perhaps one of the lower dungeons, a larger room, as a war room. Protected. And that is the cheaper option, where we gather there to discuss matters. The other option, a little more pricey, I estimate closer to 30,000 gold pieces, is to add a fifth room. One of false, well, not exactly fifth rune, replacing the non-detection with false information, feeding their scrying habits false leads. However, that method will require us to maneuver and put the runes within the kingdom post-haste, and they'll all be activated at the same time. But it will ensure that we can speak freely while whatever prying eyes, mystically speaking around, will see very basic things, mundanities of our lives. As
Seems like money well spent, although more costly. Make it happen, Lord Bane. And as for the Guild of Warfare, would it be possible for you to set an appointment with them maybe in a week's time? I have given my brother about a week.
A week from now. Understood. I shall send the raven post haste, and I shall inform the carpenters and the sorceresses. They've informed me that it should be done within 5 days, give or take. The sorceresses are willing to work as many hours they require.
Fine. So it looks like I have 3 appointments coming up.
Yes.
Baroness Kiara, the Baron Drogas, Guild of Warfare once again. Very well.
The Baroness Kiara has also sent her regards to that her wizard will be here to pick you up with whatever company you wish to bring with you. And will also deliver you back here after the meeting.
I trust then that I trust that she will find a lot of the things that we have just been prowling about. Very interesting, cryptic character that she is.
There are a lot of things interesting about Baroness Olsworth, and you would be very interested in these findings that you have discovered. First, you have already piqued her interest, given that she has even responded to your queries. Really impressive,
I am
actually.
very interested in I am fairly interested in the Baroness herself. Not in that sense, but in her position.
Very well. Baron Vandrel will be within the next 4 days. Baroness Kiara will be tomorrow. Next week will hopefully be Guildmaster Bolivar Castwell. And I believe those are all your appointments. I shall get to work on it, Baroness.
Thank you, Lord Bane. You are dismissed.
He just leaves. As he leaves, Tanya and Ida, I'm assuming, leave with him as he opens the door for you. Mage, you are alone with the trinkets in the box that Bane had given you previously.
I am going to wave like my hand is just sticking out of the door just to let her know that I'm leaving.
Before we end tonight, Mage, would you like to open that box?
I would absolutely like to open the box.
Oh shit.
The first thing you find is a notebook with a bunch of names on it. Some people you've met, some people you recall the name of, one of them being Alden. The top part of it just says
Which side?
potential mates and partners. Potential partners. And husbands.
Can you see Lord Vane's name on top of the list?
You see Alden right on the top. Let's see.
Someone's into empty wells.
You see Alden on the top. You see a few other curious names. I'm just gonna put it out there that you see Lord Guildmaster Castwell's son, the very handsome knight.
That does give me an idea.
You see quite a number of people actually over here.
Apart from the list, since
Yeah.
I can request for that naman,
Yeah.
is there anything else?
Yes, you see a curiously cylindrical and rounded up wooden object. Seems to be, you know how if you dip wood in water enough times, the part that's been dipped in water seems to be darkened more than the rest of the wood. It's kind of like that. You know how some ornate bedposts have these kind of the shaft, and then there's these orb, and then the kind of rounded out triangle. It's sort of like that, only
Oh
thinner.
my. Here's blood. Is that what I think it is?
You find a few sketches and sort of fantasy drawings of Ida with Alden, kind of dating.
Magic wand.
And as you kind of go through the sketches, you find they start to get a little more unapologetically risque to just downright explicit. One, she's a very talented artist. Two, the latter pages are a little too talented.
And me, Lucas.
The squire calls for the assassin, Lucas, who just walks into. Baroness, you called for me?
I know we're not close, Lucas, but I do have a favor for you.
Of course.
See this box?
Yes.
Leave it somewhere the shades can see.
Somewhere the shades can see? Very well.
Actually, no, Lucas. I will entertain you. You will go to Lady Ada.
Yes.
Ask her how much she's willing to pay for that box never to see the light of day again.
I presume I am to show her the box and what's inside, but not let her have it, correct?
That is correct. And if she does not pay up, you may leave it somewhere the shades may see.
Understood, Baroness. Takes the box. You see him grip an amulet, kind of protecting himself from magic. Kind of moves forward. Knocks. Ada, there's a knock on your door. And it's Lucas, that small boy that Tanya trained with.
Oh.
Lady Ada, Baroness Mage has a message for you. He opens the box and then closes it and then says, Baroness Mage would like to request how much you are willing to pay for this box to never see the light of day. And if you are not willing to pay, I was instructed to leave it somewhere where the shades will find them.
Does she need gold or any
I am uncertain, but she just
favor?
requested payment. Perhaps it is best you talk to her. Thank you. And then he just leaves.
Why are you doing this to my boy?
Lucas disappears into the shadow. Just
Going to check my chest.
it's missing.
Shit! No, this is where I put my gold.
Oh, then yeah. I thought you were looking for your items. They were missing, but yeah, you can find your gold.
How much?
You don't know. Ask Mage.
I'm going to go back to Mage's room.
You
and...
you hear stomping in the ground. Opening the door.
What the hell, Mage?
Oh dear. Oh dearest sister, is there anything I, the amazing mage Giliath, can do for you?
You got my freaking notebook and
I hate to be legalistic with you, darling, but I did not get it. It was found while we were making very important renovations to your room.
but why my notebook and
Magic wand.
my fucking wand?
So that's a very interesting design of wand, I must
wand.
say. That's a very interesting investigation wand, I must say. For making wet things dry.
Or the other way around.
Or the other way around. I have no comments on that. I was wondering, however, how much you would be willing to pay for me to conveniently forget that any of this happened. I mean, there are a bunch of renovations that need to be made. Very important renovation.
How much gold do I have?
How much gold do you? About 2.5.
Are you making me broke? I mean, how about 1,000 gold pieces? How about that?
Mage.
I think it's just
Mage, I can't hear you.
Are you... Hello?
There
Can
you are.
hear me now?
Yep.
Are you attempting to bargain with your older sister?
I mean, you have my stuff. What else could I do? You have.
I'll give you your stuff back. I'll give you your stuff back. I need about 2,000. And if you're lucky, I might even make one of your fantasies come true. Eh? Older sister talks to a lot of the politicians these days.
Deal.
Alright. Edad.
Mage hand handshake.
Edad.
Mage hand handshake.
Mage hand handshake in the middle of the room.
Major and handshake.
That's how you shake hands while social distancing.
From one spellcaster to another.
Edad, mark down 2,000 gold so you're only left with 500 in your inventory.
Shit, I'm almost broke.
And Mage, you can have an additional 2,000 gold in your, your personal money aside from the coffers. The coffers have to go to the kingdom and all that. Just give yourself 2,000.
I'll talk to Lord Bane what to do with the 2,000 like the next session.
So, Ida goes back to her room very angrily as Lucas has kind of, I'm assuming Mage has given the word. So Lucas has already left the box in her room.
Uh-huh.
So the moment Ida goes back to your room, the box is already there with your stuff there.
I'm going to hide the cylindrical shape thing
The wand.
somewhere.
That's the real.
wand.
That's the real wand of smiles.
Oh my god.
No.
Control water.
Control water.
Be like this. Why?
So, we're going to end that session there.
Before
Yes.
we go to sleep, I would like to make sure that there's like a placard in my room that says "Enter at your own risk." Then I'm gonna trap my room.
One last thing. Can I talk to Lord Bane again?
Sure. About what? He just comes in.
About the two
Madness.
birds.
When you have Tanya's room warded, shut up. When you have Tanya's room warded, if it won't cost any money, can you give me a back door to all the wards?
You mean an entrance to her room then?
The entrance to her room that maybe only you and I would know about? Of course, you would conveniently forget, old man that you are. I can't pay you for this, but a young girl would be incredibly indebted to you.
Of course, I am in the service of the Baroness. I will ask the carpenters. I would also require Lady Tanya to not be in the room.
Make that
It will
work.
take time.
I can have Lucas distract her.
How
Very
dare
well.
you use my boy like that?
She will be busy exploring a cursed mountain, so you will have all the time you need.
It can be done. Nods.
Or you are dismissed, Lord Bane.
Leaves.
As
So-
I have mentioned earlier, I am trapping my room and it heavily says enter at your own risk.
If your room's gonna be warded, you'll have to let go of the traps.
I know, if they're gonna ward it, I need to be there.
You're
Nation
going.
States is a lot more
That's up
fun
to
than I
Mage.
thought it was going to be.
That's up to Mage to see what happens. But
Yep.
you're so we have a bit of politicking, both externally and internally within your own family.
Really.
And questions about dried up wells and curious cylindrical wooden objects and
Wand of
incriminating
Smiles.
drawings. And
Wand of Smiles.
we will end that game tonight.
So
So,
the good one.
Frustration
good day, everyone, and see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
So I have
I
to send
need
you a
to pick-
list of
so
things in
so
my